Brittany, we're ready to get started. Oh, Devin. The June 14th City Council meeting is called to order. We have our invocation by Pastor Rick Owsley, Grace Point Church, followed by our Pledge of Allegiance by Councilor Sheila Tyson from District 8. Please stand. And before we begin, let's have a moment of silence for the victims in Orlando.
Our Father, we thank you and praise you for the gift of this day. We give you praise for the gift of life, life eternal, life abundant, life with challenge, life with opportunity, life with adversity, life with blessings. Thank you, Father, for the way you have lavished your love upon us. We pray this day for the enormity of pain and the angst of grief that holds a city and our nation this day. For the multitudes of families affected by the horrific events of this past weekend, we ask, Master, that you and you alone give to them what this world will never be able to give. That you provide green pastures and still waters and peace that surpasses understanding. I ask you, Father, today that you protect and honor our first responders, for those who serve to enforce the law and to serve and protect the people, for those who care when we're in moments of great calamity. I pray, Father, for those responders that they will be agents of your love and your grace to us. Father, I pray for our city. I thank you for this council. I thank you for everyone who facilitates the administrating of our city. And I ask you, Lord God, to continue to give them wisdom, clarity, courage. I pray they would also be filled with compassion and kindness and understanding. So, Father, today I pray from the depths of my heart for balance to come to our culture. I pray that the many strands of diversity that make up the peoples that we are, I pray for the day when they are woven into one cord of unity. I pray for the day when we have balance of life and love. I ask, Father, that you give us an understanding of that balance, that we would not just be people who sing Amazing Grace, but we would be people who serve grace. That we'd not just be a people who would embrace the Bill of Rights, but that we'd be people with a will of responsibilities. I pray, Father, that we would be a nation who would trust. I pray that we would not be like so many prone to go to the extremist camps. I pray, Father, that we would not wander so far in one direction or another that we lose the centrality of love, that we would not insist on uniformity, that we would live for unity. So again, I pray for this council. And may the decisions they make, though many may be just another council meeting, all the resolutions, the ordinances, I pray that today you would fill their spirit with an acute responsibility to lead us, and that we would be responsible citizenry, that we would follow, and that together we'd be a great people. So I pray for the next one who's listening right now, who's going to have to deal with adversity, the next one who'll have to deal with disease. Somebody listening now will be the next one to have to deal with death. Somebody listening will be the next one to die. So, Father, let us now prepare our lives for the then that is ahead. I thank you and I love you unapologetically. I praise you and bless our city council today. In Jesus' name I pray this. Amen.
Amen. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilmember Abbott.
Present.
Mr. President.
Reverend Owsley. Hold on one second. Go ahead, clerk.
President Pro Tem Hoyt.
You just
Here.
Councilmember Lundy. Here. Councilmember Rafferty. Councilmember Robertson.
present.
Councilmember Parker. Morning. Councilmember Scales.
Morning.
Morning. Councilmember Tyson. Morning. President Austin.
Present. Good morning. Mr. Pro Tem, go ahead.
Yeah, well, Reverend, I just want to thank you. I don't know in my heart been more pricked than this morning. And I didn't want you to leave here with the understanding that we have not all were moved by your prayers. And so thank you so much for coming. Bless you.
Thank you. Do we have a motion on the minutes from March 1st, 2016?
I move approval.
Abbott, Parker.
Okay. Voting should be open now. And we're missing Councilmember Scales is out. Tyson, got you. That vote should be up. Well, it's unanimous. I have to go and see what's going on in the back here. It passed, Mr. President. I'll just check on the voting machine or something.
Okay, so we'll just take a voice vote until we get it straight. But that item passes unanimously. The minutes are not ready for March 8th through June the 7th. Let's move on with the consideration of the consent agenda.
Okay, the consent agenda starts on page 2 with item 1. Then we skip over to page 8. We have items 9 and 10 on consent. Page 9, we have items 11, 12, 13, and 14 on consent. Page 10, we have items 15, 16, and 17 on consent. Page 11, we have items 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24 on consent. Page 12, we have items 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29 on consent. Page 13, we have items 30, 31, 32, and 33 on consent. Page 14, items 34, 35, and 36 are on consent. Skip over to page 16, we have items 40, 41, and 42 on the consent agenda. And the consent agenda ends with items 43 and 44.
Okay, and we have one addendum item, which is the, item number 45. All right, do we have any council members wish to speak to the consent agenda?
Mr. President,
Council Abbott?
on page 6, I want to put item 3 on consent, but I did want to ask exactly where this is.
It's on Third Avenue, crossing 20th Street, I think. Is that correct? I don't know where Mr. Bittis is.
Yeah, if he can just tell me that, then it can,
It's 212, 214, 216, and 218 20th Street
20th
across
Street.
from Bonton.
across from
It's all
Bonton.
those properties right there that'll serve them with high-pressure water line.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
that's right.
Okay, so I would like to put that item on consent.
Object,
I-
Okay.
number 6.
You're-
No, this
we're on
is number
3.
3.
You're on number 3,
Yeah.
okay, I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
I
Councilor Abbott.
misunderstood you.
So do you object to number 3?
No.
Okay, then on page 7, item 4 and 5, on page 8, items 7 and 8. On page 10, item 18.
I had a question about number 8, Mr. President.
Yeah, let's leave that off consent. You said 7, did you want to put that on consent?
Yes.
8, we can leave off. And then you wanted to put
On
item,
page 10, item 18.
yeah,
Then on page 14, item 37. And on page
Okay.
6,
they want to read item 18.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
All right, well, go ahead.
And then item 16, page 16, item 39.
So you didn't want item 37 on there? 38?
37 can go on, not 38.
And then 39? Okay,
Yeah, and 39.
all right. Do we have any other members of the council wish to speak to the consent agenda? Are there any members of the public who wish to speak to an item that has been placed on the consent agenda and marked as a public hearing? You may now approach the podium. If there are any members of the public who wish to speak to an item that has been placed on the consent agenda and marked as a public hearing, you may now approach the podium. Do we have a mover and a second on the consent agenda?
Mr. President,
Go ahead.
item 2, if that's permissible to add to the consent agenda.
Item 2. We can, as long as we can call for a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak for or against item 2? If there is, then we just need to have a public hearing. You here to speak to item 2? No. Just Mr. Snyder. All right. Then we can place that item on consent. Council Tyson, you all right with that? All right. Item 2. All right. We have a mover and a second on the
I
consent
move
agenda.
approval.
Abbott, Parker.
Okay. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
All right, the consent agenda passes. Next item, Mr. Clerk, should be item 6.
Okay. Let me place the vote in here right quick. Item 6. An ordinance to further amend the general fund budget for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2016 by appropriating $5 million to non-departmental transfer to Fund 102 Capital Improvement Fund, and to further amend the capital fund budget for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2016 by appropriating $1 million to Board of Education Reading Program, $2 million to demolitions, and $2 million to weed abatement.
Second.
We have Roberson, Abbott. Do you have any members who wish to speak to this item? Counselor Abbott?
Yes, yesterday we contacted the Board of Education and could not get a copy of their proposal for the reading program, and I didn't find anything attached, so I was hopeful that the administration had their proposal.
What is wrong with this thing?
It's my understanding that there was a meeting last week or week before last with the Board of Education,
That was going on.
and the entire program was presented at that time. I've talked to our folks, and they're supposed to be, as we speak, getting the information over here. But I thought she made the presentation, I thought that, the superintendent made the presentation like a week or 10 days ago.
Well, we saw a PowerPoint at the Arlington event, at the dinner, but that wasn't a proposal for a reading program.
Okay, I don't.
I actually wanted to see the proposal.
Okay, we're checking on it
I
now.
assume it's in writing and available.
We'll
But
check-
anyway, we couldn't get one on short notice, so we're just hopeful you've got one since you're proposing to spend money on it.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And I wouldn't be able to vote on this until I saw the proposal.
Well, and Councilor Abbott, I'd have to concur with you because I did not see a program that was delineated in terms of measurable goals. And quite frankly, you know, when our schools are failing, I think it's important that we clearly understand how we're going to achieve those goals. And reading is one of those fundamental things that if one can read, they can do math, they can do science, they can do anything, quite frankly. And I just don't want to send $2 million, is it $1 million to the board and not understand what it is we're going to do. And none of that was discussed. And what we got summarily was an overview of where we were, and also we were told that, you know, we didn't do well on some of the standardized tests. And so it's important that we know where this $1 million is going. I don't have a problem. I support the school. I think I said it that night, that I think we, that we head in the right direction, but I just don't believe you just throw money and not know where it's going. And then I want to know how many children we plan on reaching with this $1 million. And so none of that's been said, and, you know, it just behooves investigative journalism. Because if you were concerned about what the council said in terms of delaying this item, then it would seem to me that you would have called one of the members of council to verify if we actually delayed it just to be delaying, because that didn't happen. There needs to be some clear, lucid understanding of what you're going to do with this. And I want to thank the president and the chairman of the finance committee putting this on hold until we understand that. And so, but I want to thank my colleague, Ms. Abbott, too, because we were in the same meeting. She's the chair of education. And surprisingly, but you are. And you're doing a great job, too, quite frankly. But we just need to understand that, and we've not understood that. And so I'm hoping that we get some answers, but I'm not looking for no smoke screen. I want to know how we're going to do better than we did last year. And that's what I'm looking for. And I know we got the expertise to do it, but, you know, people got to be willing to dedicate themselves to just that, you know? And all of our schools need to come up, quite frankly. Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilor Lundy?
Thank you, leadership. On yesterday, Economic Development, Budget, and Finance met, and we talked about the lack of detail and the lack of a submitted written plan when it comes to these items, in particular, the item for education. I echo the sentiments of my colleagues previously. There's not a soul here who doesn't want to see education thrive. When you talk about economic development, that is the cornerstone of economic development, is a solid foundation in education. However, to put $1 million into something that's a pig in a poke, we don't foresee doing. So we need to see the details of the plan. It sounds good, but without the details, we can't effectively move forward. This administration has proven to us that the devil is in the details. So we have to read everything before we make a move on it. And we can't make a move on someone's word because the word of the administration doesn't go far. So I need y'all to understand that this council is for schools, for weed abatement, and for the demolition of houses. We just need to see a written plan.
Councilor Scales?
Thank you, Mr. President. I ditto what everyone else said, but I'm gonna put it in my own vernacular for public consumption. Basically, the council is not gonna be beaten into submission through the media. That's what it is in short. If you don't know what it is, why would you vote on it? We just delivered at least about $12 million in properties to Birmingham City Schools. So let me be very clear. The council is for schools. Now, what I don't like, Mr. President, and I would ask at least those of you all who consider me to be a friend in media, since I'm a publicist and you are a journalist, is perhaps maybe you need to contact the council's Office of Public Information, because that's seemingly where all of this stuff is coming from. We have Ms. Odom, who is very dutiful to the mayor and the mayor's office. And then you have Ms. Brittany Sharp and those who work with her, that they have to report to the council. So rather than putting out a press release and the media just run rampant with just, well, this is from the city. No, I'm gonna start calling it what it is. It's from Ms. April Odom on behalf of the mayor. So you don't have to be confused at all. There's no confusing in terms of what the council does and does not support. I will say this, and I say this all the time in my district. If it is confusing, it's always politics. Non-confusing is non-politics, okay? So giving to the schools, that's not our issue. But what we won't be done or treated as is that you're gonna be beaten into submission and you don't have anything in writing. Because this is not our money. This is taxpayers' money. So when something comes up, you at least need to be able to have a plan in writing that you can give to the rightful owners of this city. You can't say the people of the city, and then you turn around and you do things and don't talk to the people who represent the city. That's the taxpayers. So that's why I wanted, Mr. President, for this one particularly to remain off, because we do need to have a plan. We do want to and desire to, we've said that collectively, want to work with the Birmingham City school system. But I would also say in protection of Birmingham City schools, probably if the public knew just how dire straight the Birmingham City schools is right now, and I know it's are if it's plural, but is because it's a school system, which is one. If you knew how dire straight they really are, you would then better understand why the council is being very meticulous about how we move forward. Because we owe it to you. Transparency belongs to you. This is your money, and if anything goes on, you need to know about it. Not a private meeting between us and the Birmingham City School Board and the mayor. You need to be at the table instead of being on the menu. And that's really what I wanted to say, Mr. President, is just, I know a lot of times we can be very diplomatic, but I'm putting it in layman terms so every camera, including the one that I see over there with 3340, you can pick up just what I meant for you to put out, which is the fact the council don't have a problem with supporting Birmingham City schools. We do, however, have a problem with not getting what we need in writing so that we're making an educated, informed decision that impact not only the children, but the taxpayers who support the school system. Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilor Tyson?
I wanted to know, with $1 million, that's not a lot of money for the school system of our size. And do they have any matching funds? And what schools would it cover? And what type of program it is? I'm very interested in that because I have the pre-K in the two schools that's actually in District 6. And I want to actually know that before I vote on anything. They got to have matching funds because $1 million, that'll take up my two schools only. Well, I think for a year. They probably need some more added on to that. So I would like to know if they have any matching funds, the program, and what schools are they gonna cover?
Councilor London?
Councilor Tyson and for the rest of the council and the public, we have extended an invitation for the superintendent or her designee to speak to the committee of the whole on Wednesday, not tomorrow, but the 22nd, 4 o'clock, at 4 p.m. on the 22nd. It's a public meeting. Those are some of the types of answers, Councilor Tyson, that we hope to hear in this committee of the whole meeting for further edification around this topic.
Counselor Abbott.
Yeah, I just wanted to say one other thing. You know, this issue with education, we did receive a very thorough presentation at our meeting at the Arlington House. And we met with the Board of Education, of course, the council and the mayor. But it didn't go to the type of detail that we need to know about this reading program that we're going to help to fund. The school system is not in very good shape financially. We have children who have gone the full year with no books. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was a kid in school, I was lugging around 25 pounds of books to school every day. And I actually read those books or I wouldn't have gotten through. So I don't understand how you can have a quality school system with no books. So yeah, a reading program is really important, but if you don't have anything to read once you learn to read, that's critical. So, you know, we need to be doing a lot more to support our school system, and I don't just mean we, the city council and the city, I mean we as a city, to find out that our school children don't have books. That's really shocking. And there are a lot of other things that are surprising that our school system doesn't have due to lack of funding. So it's incumbent upon all of us, because I think about the kids that are in school right now, and they'll be sitting up here, and if they can't read, we're all in trouble, every single one of us, unless we plan to move somewhere else, and I don't intend to do that. So I want people up here who know how to read and are willing to read and do the business of the city. So this is critical to us. This isn't a small potatoes kind of deal, but we do need to know where the money's going and exactly how it's going to be handled and how it's going to be measured, because what gets measured gets done. And what doesn't get measured, well, you just hope it worked. And we can't afford that. We can't afford that for a minute. So I just had to throw that in as chairman of education. I haven't been chairman very long, but I'm getting an eye-opening experience. And it's distressing. And one other thing is, I also would like to know the number of houses that are proposed to be demolished with these funds that we're proposing to allocate, and also the number of lots and where they're located, all the same information we asked for previously when we were allocating money to do this. We need to know all that stuff. And we need to know it by district so that each of us is well informed. Thank you, Mr. President.
Before we take a motion, I will say that, you know, it's sad, and it's a very sad day when games are being played at the expense of our citizens and our neighborhoods, and in this case, our schools. You know, and I was looking for it, but I sent a message to the mayor about this particular item when they mentioned, well, we didn't first of all find out about the availability of $5 million except for via Instagram. The mayor did not call me. I haven't spoken to the mayor in over a month. And I don't know, maybe call some of the other council members about this, but I was not informed about any of this. And we found out about it via Instagram. And so we did. Of course, I was quick to say, absolutely, I will support it 100%, but we need to know the details. This council, and I will say, quite frankly, that I'm thankful that the mayor has taken has paid so much more attention to the neighborhoods in these last few months. I'm thankful for that. But this council has been saying the same thing for years. And we support our schools, we support our neighborhoods, and we support our public safety personnel in fighting crime and keeping our people safe. But we need to know what's going on. We could not get answers to these questions last night, but Councilor Abbott, there are other questions that I have relative to this. I've asked, what is the funding source for this money? Because if you look at our agenda, it's not what we were told was that there was a combination of cost savings and surplus. Is what we were told, and yet that has not been demonstrated to us at all. We asked that question last night. What is the funding source? Where's this money coming from? So we need to know those things in order to make an informed decision about what we're doing with your money. And as one of my colleagues already said and indicated that, while we were in the meeting yesterday discussing this whole item, before we could get off the item, the mayor's office sent out a press release saying that we had delayed the item and we need to act now and all these types of things. But you don't have any of the information to make an informed decision. So we're being asked by the administration to neglect our fiduciary responsibility to the taxpayers. And I don't see any one of these council members doing that. We understand our responsibility, and we are very supportive of everything that is presented to this council that is about these neighborhoods and this community and our city. Extremely supportive, and that has been demonstrated throughout the years that we have served on this council. But what also has been demonstrated is we will make a decision once we have the information and we are informed. And maybe we won't all agree on it, but this body will collectively make a decision. So I think it's prudent of us to take this item up at the committee of the whole and have all the information that was originally requested the day, and I think it was a Saturday, that this announcement was made. I think it was Saturday or Sunday about the $5 million. And so we have a committee of the whole meeting next week. What we were also told yesterday was that we were not even prepared to spend the $5 million. What we were told is that we just need to move the $5 million and capture it as an expense in this year's budget so that we could move it into Fund 102, I think it's a fund, and spend the money out of that fund instead of it coming out of the next fiscal year's budget. That's what we were told. So we're not even prepared to spend $5 million. Now, we did get answers, Councilor Abbott, to some of the questions relative to the how many houses. I think it was 164 homes at $2 million. That's a little over, almost $14,000 a home. And then we had a little over 3 million square feet of vacant lots, overgrown lots that we would be cutting with the $2 million. It's roughly $1.50, I think, a square foot. So that's the information that we received yesterday. But relative to this school program, don't know. And I've spoken to several members of the board. They have no idea what we're talking about. So I think that we need to take this up in committee of the whole. I know that the mayor is listening and has heard our request. I look forward to hearing from him and moving forward with the business of the city. Councilor Scales, and then Mr. Pro Tem, you can close it out. You guys.
Mr. President, so then let me just be very brief, because I was sitting here thinking how all of this is going to play out in terms of public perception. Public perception in politics is reality for some folk, because even though we have a crowded room in here, I think the seating capacity may be about, 100, 150, and every chair is not full, but the majority are. But I do understand what goes on outside of City Hall. And so just like I'm talking now and they run over there to that camera, well, I'm gonna make myself very clear. I don't speak for the council, but I do know media and I'm learning politics. There's another little leaflet that I'm not gonna talk about in this particular item that's gone out, talking about we need $9 million for 99 neighborhoods. Okay, well, when that comes up too, then I'm gonna have my say about that too, because you don't have $1 million per neighborhood to pave streets. But you getting that leaflet and it's going in your mailbox, okay? So that's what I mean when I said public perception. Because if you hear all of this dialogue, you think, well, my goodness, if Birmingham City Schools are in that bad a shape, how come they just won't help them? They are the Birmingham City Council, and the city should join with Birmingham City Schools in order to make it work. Well, we have the president, and I'm not gonna put her on the spot, because that's like the elephant in the room. Nobody wants people talking about them, and then they sitting there in the room, and they might can say what needs to be said. But I'm telling you, this council not only supports the school system, there's a reason why at some point the school system was in state control. So you got to ask yourself, if we're the ones that's giving your money, and if I was going in your purse, and we're going in your purse and your wallet every week, whether you like it or not, and we spending your money, how would you feel if I actually come and took your purse or your wallet, stepped down from this dais, walked out in their audience, and told you, shut up, you don't have a word to say about it? It wouldn't make you feel good. In fact, it would be highly disrespectful. But that's what I'm talking about right here. So when it gets out to the media and you see a press release or whatever, I would hope to think, especially those of you all that are here, that everybody has a responsibility because we're spending your money. And it's wrong for us to spend your money and not ask, so what are we getting in return? What are we? I'm talking about children. Just like Councilor Abbott just mentioned about the school books, I wanted to say a little bit more, but to save face today, yeah, I mean, how do you plan on learning? You don't have a book? You don't have a book for the majority of the school year. And then you talking about a workforce development that when these children graduate, what job are you going to get if you can barely fill out the application? Because you don't know how to read. Okay, so that's Mr. President, Mr. Pro Tem, that I really hope that we get together. I'm so tired of these press releases trying to make this council look in a light that's not what it is. And I hate that our Birmingham City Schools are even being discussed, period, this morning, because all of us know that when you're in committee of the whole, it's not as public as it is now. And so then, you know, it won't be all other kind of stuff that's being said that shouldn't be said. And I really hate that, Mr. President, but I'm telling you, I realize the demon that we're fighting behind closed doors, and I don't like it. And I'm telling the public, I'm going to do my best to empower you and to educate you, because I don't plan on being in office forever. But while I am here, I'm going to tell you how this thing works, called government, called city politics, so that we can stop taking money out of your check but don't tell you how to make the city government work for you. Okay? So, Mr. President, again, I want to stress that that Birmingham City Schools hopefully is going to show up to that committee of the whole meeting. I see the president, Ms. Alexander, here, and let us know what's what. But by the same token, I think that report that had been revealed to the council, I think at some point that the public needs to know, so that our line of questioning can be justified, as you know, instead of us looking like the villain up here, because that's not our train of thought. We just want to be responsible. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. Media can take on different forms. And I just saw a text from my colleague, and it reminded me that not even the board has been presented this plan for this reading program. And matter of fact, I think it's scheduled to be presented to the board in July. So you want us to put $1 million on something that the board has not been privy to? And they had the charge of being, accountable with respect to the board? That doesn't make sense. And so it's just amazing. But I do want, I like the news, because sometimes y'all let me on there. And not that I would seek it. You know, if I've been on one, I've been on 1,000. But we just need to go back to investigative journalism, because that's the balance. I think the pastor talked about that this morning, that we desire to have balance. And balance would have done for us, for you to pick up the phone, call the PIO officer, or call the counselor, any one of us. You know, I don't think I turned anybody down who wanted to, interview with me if my schedule permitted. So we're here. But the only thing we heard last night was what we weren't doing. Nothing said that we delayed this item to get further clarity. There's transparency is important in government. And when we have it, it works better for us. It really does. So, Mr. President, I'm prepared to delay this item till we get some understanding as to what we really want to do. Now, grant you, there's not going to be any reporting of this inquiry at all. You know, and this is my last thing. I'm for education. Last week, we gave $12,000 out to Birmingham City Schools, students, college-bound students. Yeah, and so I'm one of those persons, if I raise the money, it's going to the young folk. There's some folk who raise money, and I hadn't seen anything they've done with education, quite frankly. There's no report of it. But I'm accountable, I'm transparent. That's the only way to be. We got young people here this morning. You need to understand you have to be transparent if you're going to serve the public, because you deserve to know the truth. And I tell you here, since I've been here, and even before I got here, I spoke truth to power. And that's what you got to do. Speak truth to power. Thank you. Move to send this item, to refer this item to the Committee of the Whole.
Second?
Hoyt Scales.
Okay. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No. One no vote from Council Roberts. Next item down passes, be deferred to, to Committee of the Whole. Next item should be item 8.
Okay. Item 8
He was late.
on page 8.
Ain't that a mess?
Item 8 is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a real estate transfer agreement to include all necessary documents to effectuate the sale with the Jefferson County Committee for Economic Opportunity, JCCEO, under which the JCCEO will convey to the city property located at 1200 Tuscaloosa Avenue, Birmingham, and all personal property located therein to the city for a value of $1, to be used by the city's Office of Community Policing and Revitalization, who is currently in the process of expanding its operation into western portions of the city of Birmingham, and is in need of this facility to coordinate operations so that it may become proactive in reducing violent crime, drug trafficking, drug-related crime, and gang activity in designated high-crime neighborhoods, and provide a safe environment free of crime and drug use, and promote the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of Birmingham.
Mr. President, I move approval.
Second.
Abbott, Hoyt.
Abbott and
Do you have any
Hoyt.
speakers to this item? All right, we're ready to vote.
Okay. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
And call for any abstentions. Any abstentions?
Any abstentions?
All
I'm
right,
sorry.
that item passes unanimously. Next item.
Okay, the next item would be 19. Give me 1 second to do this right quick. Item 19, 18, I'm sorry, which is on page 10. Item 18 is a resolution authorizing the Community Resource Services Division of the Mayor's Office to schedule and implement the 2016 Citizen Participation Program election on Tuesday, October 18th, 2016, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at polling places, to be determined by the staff of the Community Resource Services Department in accordance with Section 6
of the Citizen Participation Plan dated February 21st, 2013.
Mr. President, I move approval.
Second.
Abbott, Scales. Do you have
Okay.
any speakers this time? Ready to vote.
Okay, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions?
That item passed unanimously. Next item.
Okay, the next item would be item 38 on page, it'll be on page 15.
Mr. President, I thought I asked for 36 to be removed. Yeah, item 36 on page
36 was supposed to be removed from the consent agenda.
Okay. Item 36. Item 36 is on page 14.
Do we need to reconsider the consent agenda?
Did you mark it as we voted it during the consent agenda?
I just took it off, so it's,
Okay,
we're good.
Go ahead.
Okay, on page, yes, page 14, item 36, a resolution approving payment to Cumulus Birmingham, Chicago, Illinois, in the amount of $9,500 for the Magic City Classic Experience 2015 in accordance with Section 317 of the Birmingham City Code.
Yeah, move to second.
Second.
Parker, Abbott, Council Scales.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, obviously, we're paying it in arrears, and I do see Mr. Bernie behind us. I don't know if that's who the mayor's office is going to designate for this. What is the Magic City Classic Experience? What is that? Don't all speak at one time. Especially since we're paying this in arrears. I want to know, what is the Magic City Classic Experience?
You say you see Mr. Bernie?
Yeah, well, he was back there, I guess he gone. If someone can, and we can
Could be-
table it until that time, because again, not against the Magic City Classic, just wanna know what I was experiencing, cause I didn't experience it, I don't know if the public experienced it, but I know if you paying $9,500 to a radio station, I wanna know, well, what we paying them for? Because then that means that there was some advertisement that went on. And you know, before we had this same product, which was Cumulus, and I found it interesting even then that it was said that we were paying for ads, and then you gave me a demographic. Well, thank the Lord that this is what I do for a living too. And I don't promote my company besides some of this garbage I hear that comes from within City Hall. Okay, but I do know it, and all of us have a level of expertise in what we do, and hopefully that works to the city and the citizens' advantage. So I'm trying to figure out, what were we advertising for the Magic City Classic that gave us an experience that I'm sure very few of us were probably invited to. So I just want to know that, and Mr. President, if it's, yes. Okay.
Point of clarity before.
Go ahead.
Yes, and there's no attachment to 36 in the package, so it would behoove us to, if we could delineate what it is we're doing and what we're paying for.
Good morning. What's the question, councilors?
Sure. I wanted to know this Cumulus item on page 14, item 36. Now, I can wait, Mr. Bernie, until you get there.
Okay.
It states about this, obviously this is for advertisement, for the Magic City Classic Experience. I have two questions. One, what was the ad? Well, actually, I have three. What was the ad for? Secondly, what is the Magic City Classic Experience? Is that an event? What is that?
Okay.
The third thing is I want to know, is this coming out of the money that was already budgeted for the Magic City Classic, or is this $9,500 in addition to what was already passed by the council in support of the Magic City Classic?
Okay, let me try to answer it this way. First of all, the money is coming out of the mayor's office. There is a line item in the non-departmental budget for the Magic City Classic. Any funds over and beyond that, we spent that out of our budget. Now, as far as the ad itself, the name of the ad, the Magic City Classic Experience, I'm not sure how that was coined, but basically what we do, we promote the different events around the Classic. To my knowledge, it was not a specific event that we were doing, such as a soiree or anything like that. It was just a Magic City Classic event itself and the activities surrounding it. Your first question was the ad itself. I've got the invoice that tells so many second ads were, how many seconds the ads were that were done during that time period. It was a total of 2 invoices.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, then that means that this is coming out of the mayor's promotional budget or whatever that he has? Because obviously this is in addition to the $600,000+ that we've already spent on the Classic, is that right?
That is correct.
All right, and so the Magic City Classic Experience, I gather, Mr. Burney, you probably not necessarily sure yourself, you just know that it should have been ads that encompassed everything in terms of events happening in the city.
That is my understanding, yes.
Okay, all right, so,
Your time is up.
okay, can you suspend the rules then, Mr. President?
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Okay.
Okay,
1
thank you,
minute.
Mr. President, you're so kind, you reminded me of how you were 2 years ago just then, you strong-armed me. But you know I'm gonna get to the bottom of this, because let me just say this, Mr. Burney, in the presence of all the department heads that played a role, you know, the council had an event for the city, and I didn't hear none of that in this ad, since it was spent on funds related to the city, you know, events happening in the city. It's so disheartening, and I'm not directing this to you, Mr. Burney, so please just don't even take it in that spirit. But I just have a problem with the fact of this city keeps being and selling itself to the public very divided. I don't understand that. That's just what happened with this school board stuff. We just talking about that. You know, a press release come from the mayor's office, nobody contacts our Office of Public Information. Then, you know, you get one of these commentators, which I refuse to dignify this person's writing, and it's just amazing how then the commentary comes out where the council is hiring one set to do this and another set to do the same thing, and why? So the public thinks we're just stupid. We just don't have a clue what we're doing. But it's only because we're being denied certain things. Now, with that having said, Mr. Burney or the mayor and the mayor's office, one thing I would ask for me going forward, I'd like to see more than just an invoice, because there's no invoice even attached here. I would have preferred for the mayor to do it out of his $9,999 spending authority than to put this on the council agenda, because all it does is, again, create an image that, well, the council is against the Magic City Classic. No, we're not. The majority of this council is black. Magic City Classic encompasses black folk. So we're not against the Classic. What we do have a problem with is that now we come in post the fact, spending additional money that we've already put money out there, and then you circling it around there, but nobody knows what the ad content is. We just spending money. I don't get that. So, Mr. President, y'all do with it whatever you want, but moving forward, I think we need to see a copy of the invoice. That needs to be in our attachment too. And you need to find out what is the content of the ad. You are allowed to have a content provided to this council. If we're going to approve it, you should know what is inside of the ad that you're paying for.
Well, I
And
think we
council,
should
I
be
will
able to
give
get
each one of you a copy of that invoice as soon as I get back to my office.
Yes, sir.
Councilor Abbott?
Yeah, and my comment goes in the same vein. I don't think that we should allow items to be put on our agenda with no backup information provided. You know, if we had that capability, if we could just do that, because you spend your weekend reading this stuff, and there's hundreds and hundreds of pages of backup information, and you come to items where there's nothing. So we just, you know, if it's gonna be on the city council agenda, then backup information needs to be provided, or it doesn't get on the agenda. Can we do that?
Mm-hmm. We could pass an ordinance.
Well, we probably wouldn't follow it if we passed an ordinance, but it's just that it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating to read these things. I vaguely remember Cumulus was partnering with a bunch of local radio stations to do the promotion, but it's been such a long time ago since we approved it that, you know, the details are just lost on me. So having those invoices would have probably explained everything, and we wouldn't have had to spend all this time. And that happens to us all the time, that we waste a lot of time up here pontificating about things that if the information was just provided over the weekend, we wouldn't have to have all this blah, 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 which takes up a lot of time and makes us stay here forever and ever, either freezing or roasting to death, depending on where you're sitting in the room. So today it's freezing for us, it may be roasting for you. But we just need to have backup. Just don't bring it to the council agenda if you cannot, if you're incapable of providing backup. That's just all I have to say, and it's not directed at you. This is a blanket request.
We have a motion on the line. You have a motion? Do we get the information? Is that what you
Yeah,
want?
I would like to ask for a 1 week delay
Second.
to get the information.
Abbott, Hoyt, we're ready to vote on a 1 week delay.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye for the 1 week.
Aye.
All opposed?
Any abstentions?
No abstention.
All right, that item passes. Next item for a 1 week delay. Next item 38, Ms. Clerk.
Okay, give me 1 second. Item 38, which is on page 15, a resolution approving the following expense accounts. Camilla Gray Lewis, Committee Assistant, Mayor's Office, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, no charge, May 24, 2016, to attend EPA and ADECA meetings. Tanika Harrell, Administrative Assistant, Mayor's Office, Omaha, Nebraska, $1,400.22, May the 22nd through the 25th, 2016, to attend Host City Exhibit Booth, 7th Annual IIMC Conference, Brindleland High. Administrative Assistant, Mayor's Office, Portland, Oregon, $1,859.66, April the 13th through the 17th, 2016, to attend National Forum for Black Public Administrators Forum 2016. Chaz Mitchell, Deputy Administrator, City Council, Toronto, Canada, $2,427.83, May the 21st through the 25th of 2016, to attend GFOA Annual Conference. William Parker, Councilor, City Council, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, no charge, May the 24th, 2016, to attend EPA and ADECA meetings. William Parker, Councilor, City Council, Montgomery, Alabama, $204.60, May the 4th and the 5th, 2016, to attend EPA and GSA meetings. Jarvis Patton, Senior Chief Operations, Mayor's Office, Memphis, Tennessee, $1,039.58, May the 25th through the 28th, 2016, to attend 2016 41st Annual NUSA Conference. James Roberson, Councilor, City Council, New York, New York, $1,961.35, May the 17th through the 19th, 2016, to attend UNESCO and National Park legislation. James Roberson, Council Pro Tem, City Council, Huntsville, Alabama, $616, May the 13th through the 17th, 2016, to attend Alabama League of Municipalities 2016 Annual Convention. Florence Underwood, Community Resource Representative, Mayor's Office, Memphis, Tennessee, $1,776.88, May the 24th through the 28th, 2016, to attend 2016 41st Annual NUSA Conference. Kim Weldon, Administrative Assistant, Mayor's Office, Omaha, Nebraska, $1,610.56, May the 21st through the 25th, 2016, to attend Host City Exhibit Booth, 70th Annual IIMC Conference. Parker. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Any abstentions? That item passes, 1 no vote, Counselor Abbott. Next item.
Okay, let me
Should
get
be the addendum items.
Counselor Abbott's no, okay. And referee is absent.
He needs to read these sections.
Addendum item is number 45. A resolution authorizing the incorporation of the Birmingham Jefferson County Port Authority under Chapter 94 of Title 11 of the Code of Alabama, 1975, and the election of directors of the authority.
Roberson, Parker.
Mr. Pro Tem?
Yeah, Mr. Clerk, could you read the appointees to the authority?
You got that?
Well, we can make those right now and make sure those are a matter of record. Mr. Clerk, you can read it to make sure we have the right names.
Section 4.
Do we have their resumes?
Yes, section 4 and 5.
Resumes.
Is that it? There should be more than that, shouldn't it? Only 3, okay. Section 4, the city council hereby elects and appoints Brenda Phillips Hong as director for this one-year term to serve as described by section 11-94-7 of the Code of Alabama. And Monique Okoye as the director for this 3-year term to serve as described by section 11-94-7. And I think this is a 3-year term for that one.
It's
And-
3 year.
Yeah, and Jonathan Porter, the joint director for a term for 5 years to serve as described by 11-94-7. So that's 3 people, right?
Okay, very good.
That right, Mr. Tim?
And then the only other section was in Article 14, Mr. Pro Tem, that you made a request for yesterday. I just want to make sure we read that
Yeah,
for the
that's
record.
an addendum, an extra article
14.
14. If you can read that.
I have it in front of me.
Okay, yeah.
Article 14, the authority shall provide a monthly written report and a monthly oral report through a designated board member to the Birmingham City Council's Public Safety Transportation Committee or any successor committee thereto, and shall make reports as requested to the Jefferson County Commission or a designated committee thereof. Those were the changes that were made to it.
Very good.
Councilor Abbott?
Yes, I did have a few questions, and one of them was these people that we're appointing, I didn't find any resumes attached to anything, and of course, we just received this morning, and I wanted to know about these people's qualifications to be on a port authority. Do they have, like, experience with port authorities or know something about port authorities? And which is the reason for my questioning why we don't see any resumes here. Does anybody have them?
Turned into the clerk's office. I don't know why they didn't present them behind the back.
Well, let me just say, for the record, I think Ms. Hahn has worked for the city of Birmingham, as a matter of fact, in various capacities. She was over the Crossplex as well as the Bobwell, and the attorney is a practicing attorney here in the city of Birmingham, and
What
so
attorney?
Miss Monique Okoye, and she's an attorney, and Jonathan Porter, I do know, is a Tuskegee graduate and has a master's degree. So I think they more than qualified to serve. And of course, we'd be happy to provide that additional information. But I do believe there's an urgency here today, at least that's what we were told, and has to be done today so that they can make their presentation before the Port Authority in Mobile. And so, and we can get that information, but some of these people have served on boards in the city of Birmingham before, so.
Counselor Abbott, did you have anything additional?
Well, I mean, we're obviously at the 11th hour, maybe the 11th hour and 59 seconds. So obviously, there's no time to ask any questions about whether this is right or not, but I would like to see the resumes and see how they're qualified to be on a port authority. Just curious.
All right, do we have a mover and a second?
So moved.
Second?
And I will say before we vote on this particular item that I know that the Transportation Public Safety Committee has done a fantastic job of really trying to move this thing along. 'Cause I know it stalled for a while, and you all jumped in there and tried to get it back on track, and now it is back on track. I do have all the faith and confidence in their ability to select qualified candidates to serve in these different positions, in particular this one, which is so important and will be in the future for our city, so important to have good people that we know are there for the people and not for anything else. And so these individuals have been recommended. I support it, and I'm happy to move forward and vote for these individuals. Ready? Yes.
Am I able to say something real quick?
Yes.
Do you mind? Let me also say this too, Mr. President. It was only a few months ago that I recalled that there was a committee that made a decision, and before Councilor Hoyt became the pro tem, he was the one that actually said that before we make a move to vote against committee appointments, that we needed to at least respect the committee process in terms of when the committee comes out with appointments. And I would just ask that that same courtesy be given in this regard as well, because I do know that there were some problems that were inherited, but there also has been, so that the public knows, there also has been a demand on that committee in regard to this particular item. So I agree with you, Councilor Abbott, about receiving the information that you have requested. I would ask of every council member, including yourself, that when we say about respecting one another's committee and certain appointments roll out, that we all serve one another in the same spirit of life. That's all that I have to say about that. And I look forward to this Port Authority Committee doing what they do best. And they are some very good candidates, and I'm sure that the information for all of them will be provided shortly. Thank you, Mr. President.
Kind
All
of
right,
like the
thank you.
library board.
Ready to vote, Mr. Clerk?
Absolutely.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Any abstentions? All right, that item passes unanimously. Next item, that concludes the consent agenda, council agenda. We can go to the mayor's communication from the mayor. Mr. Patton, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen of the council. Today, June 17th, is National Refuge Collectors Day. In honor of them, we're asking members of Public Works to come forward from each district, where you can receive a plaque from the Keep Birmingham Beautiful Commission and the City of Birmingham. Can you come forward, please?
Good morning, Mr. Patton, and good morning, the entire council. This is National Refuse Collectors Week, and it is deemed National Garbage Man's Week. But the name Garbage Man gives a kind of a negative connotation, so I changed it to National Refuse Collectors Week. And we are going to acknowledge and recognize our refuse collectors on tomorrow. The City of Birmingham has 52 refuse collectors and 33 refuse truck drivers. Some of those are women, so we just cannot say just men. And also, these refuse collectors are placed in a very high-risk profession. They are number 4 in casualties in America. And they are exposed to a lot of things. And one of the things that these refuse collectors and the truck drivers are exposed to most are disrespectful drivers. A lot of, last week we had a refuse collector killed in Coleman County, but our refuse collectors here in Birmingham have been also physically harmed, and they have been maimed by disrespectful drivers. So, but today, because we do have them and they service, I think we have 82,000 homes here in the city of Birmingham that they service. If you live in Birmingham, one of these refuse collectors services your home. But today, we do want to recognize them. We have plaques for them, and I do appreciate, we have 4 districts, the South District, North District, East District, and the Western District. That's Southside, Inslee, North Birmingham, and East End. And we do want to recognize them this morning, and thank you, Mr. Patton. This morning, it says recognition of appreciation to the Department of Public Works, North Birmingham District. This recognition of appreciation goes to the Department of Public Works, East End District. This recognition of appreciation, Department of Public Works, goes to the Inslee District. And this recognition of appreciation goes to the Department of Public Works, Southside District.
Good morning, councilors.
Morning.
Mr. Patton. The men and women behind me truly do an outstanding job. They have difficult circumstances under which they work. They encounter all kinds of things that are hazardous. As Brenda mentioned, a refuse collector was killed in Alabama this past week. A car rear-ended a garbage truck, and a 34-year-old worker was killed. Refuse collection and recycling collection for the past 10 or 12 years has been in the top 5 most dangerous jobs in the country, and it still remains that, and it's primarily because of either distracted drivers or something of that nature. But these men and women have chosen this as their profession, and it is a profession. We do collect from over 80,000 homes twice a week, so they are visited more citizens than police and fire, and we are, again, appreciative of the hard work that they do and under the circumstances that they do it. Here in Alabama, where the humidity is usually as high as the temperature, again, the circumstances under which they work are difficult, but we truly appreciate everything that they do. And thank you.
Okay.
Thank you all very much.
Councilor Scales, hold on a minute, please.
I don't know where you going, Miss Fleming. I didn't want to call you out, but come on back. I don't give directors but friendly ass. Come on. You too precious. Come on back. Well, let me just tell you something, Ms. Dent, and you know I love you. I don't personally, I know there is a negative connotation of people look down on folk who pick up the trash, okay? But I always believe that that's the epitome of a leader, because leaders do what nobody else wants to do. Yeah, it's easy to dust. It's another thing when I got to pick up behind people, okay? Because I was about to really be frank there just a moment. But I look forward to the day because that's what Martin Luther King fought for. He was fighting for the garbage man, okay? Lost his life in the process fighting for the garbage man. And I have respect for the garbage man. Matter of fact, before people thought I was being political, I would literally leave water out at my mailbox and cups and everything else because I value what they do. It's not just a matter of saying it from this dais. It's a matter of how I treat you when nobody else is watching. And do I belittle you and degrade you because of what you do as a job, as a service to the city? So I will say this, that I'm hoping for two things. One is that you all are going to get more than a 1% cost of living raise, and that we're going to find magically that money. Mr. Barnett going to be authorized to go find it. And the other thing is that, Mr. Pro Tem, that years ago, I remember having Public Works over at Cahaba Grand, And people thought, why in the world is she gonna take them to that nice place? Well, I'm gonna take them where all the VIPs go, 'cause to me, you a VIP. If my neighborhood is nasty, when you don't do your job, they looking to the counselor. So it would behoove the counselor, if you doing your job, why would I not appreciate you? You understand? So I'm looking forward to, Mr. Patton, don't mean to put you on the spot, but since you got a dual ear, you talk to the young lady, but I'd like to go back to when I can be able to do something nice for the eastern area folk. My people over in District 1, they love it. When I told them about us sponsoring an event that we can have folk in public work who are the least paid and work the hardest in this city, least paid, but work the hardest in this city, and they were for it. So, Mr. Patton, I'm gonna say it again where you can hear it. If you would please allow me to work with our workers and do something nice again for our eastern area public works folk, because my grandmother told me love is what love does, and if you ain't doing nothing, you don't love me. Okay, Mike and I celebrated 25 years yesterday, but I want to look like I'm loved too, and you want to look like you loved. Okay, so Mr. Patton, if you would take that as a humble request, and Mr. Mayor, if I ain't trying to take care of the whole city, so y'all won't say I'm trying to run for mayor, but I do want to take care of the eastern area of town where my folk know we appreciate what you do, and we don't look down on you for what you do. And special quick shout out to Mr. Chris, because I know he thought like she ain't gonna say she know me. Yes, I do know him. And Miss Fleming, I just love you. You just gonna always be my Betty Boo. Don't you retire from the city no time soon. So Mr. Pro Tem, I look forward to Mr. Barnett magically finding some money, and that we can bless our folk. And we love plaques, but we love the kind that goes direct deposit to the bank. And I'm sure y'all can understand that. Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem.
Thank you. Councilor Abbott?
Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem. I just want to say how much I do appreciate the people who come and pick up the stuff that I don't want anymore. I know that's a hard job. It's hot. It smells bad. It's heavy. And that's the question I have. We have a city code that requires no greater than, I think it's a 30-gallon container. I see these containers that an elephant couldn't pick up. They actually have come from places where they have those machines that lift them and toss them into the back of a truck. So do we not have a way to communicate with our residents that those cans are not legal and that our men and women should not be asked to pick them up and throw them in the back of a, we really need some communication with people who desperately need it, because the size of the cans is just terrible. And of course, the things people put in them are even worse, but the size of the cans, I cannot imagine if you lifted weights for the rest of your life, you could pick up some of the cans that people are putting out on Birmingham city streets. So do we have a plan?
Thank you, Counselor. We do condemn those cans, the ones that are larger than the ordinance allows. As you said, there are a number of people who move from areas where they allow the 96-gallon containers, but we put a condemned sticker on them as we get to them.
So do the guys on the truck have to stick the stickers on them while they're picking up the?
Yeah, the crews actually have the stickers and.
Well, I hope they're really big stickers.
Well, we
I just see
communicated to the individual household as well. One of the supervisors will go back and instruct the householder as to the proper size container. So, but it is a recurring problem in some areas.
Yeah, well, all I can think of is back injuries.
And that is a problem. We do have a lot of back injuries with refuse collection.
Yeah. Well, thank you. But thank you for what you do and all your people, because I know y'all aren't the only ones out there doing it.
Well, and we certainly appreciate the work that you all do. My brother retired from Gaston as a refuge worker collector, and so I do know the value of what you all do on a daily basis, and we appreciate that very much. And I think it's noble of the mayor's office and and you to bring them before us and so we can put a face with those who work on our behalf every day. And it's wonderful to know, but you all are so important to us. And so just want you to know that from the bottom of our hearts. Councilor Scales, second time.
Yes, sir. One last thing. I was going to say, I think that this will be a wonderful time where Public Works can be able to join with the Mayor's Office of Public Information, because I don't think the refuge collector, while he's collecting needles and she collecting needles and all other kind of things, would feel that that should be their responsibility. Perhaps, Mr. Patton, you and Mr. Fancher can come together, and the Mayor's Office of Public Information can do a good job of informing the public. So that's the part we can do. And perhaps if that don't work on the mayor's side, then Miss Brittany, she can help you. The council can help. We have access to robo-dialing and mail-outs and all of that good stuff. So I just don't think we should put that burden upon you. I think, if anything, it should be the fiduciary responsibility of the city, so that you all can continue to do what you do, and then we can help assist in that regard. I think you can appreciate that, can't you, Ms. Dent? But don't you say nothing now. You just shake your head. But I think that, Mr. Pro Tem, that would be great.
Absolutely.
Because what Abbott said is duly noted and true. But if I'm hot and I'm already picking up garbage, sometimes you trying to get what you need to have accomplished for that day. Do you realistically have time to stop? And now I got to go and put something on your garbage and your garbage and your garbage when I need to be picking up the garbage. So, Mr. Patton and Ms. Odom, I'm sure you're listening. Send a press release out about that as well. We'd appreciate it. And I'm sure, Brittany, you can help assist in that regard too, so we can help for the good of the city. I think so. Don't you think so, Ms. Pro Tem?
Thank you, and thank you all for coming this morning.
Thank you.
Ms. Patton? is that
Yes,
it?
sir. June 16th marks the 11th anniversary for Dump the Pump in Birmingham, Alabama, which we encourage people from across the county to ride public transit. We have representatives here from the BJCTA to accept a proclamation on behalf of the city of Birmingham. Ms. Murdoch.
And the proclamation reads, whereas June 16, 2016 marks the 11th annual National Dump the Pump Day as a day that encourages people to ride public transportation, as public transit powers communities' growth by driving economic development and revitalizing neighborhoods. And whereas for every $1 invested in public transportation generates approximately $4 in economic return, powering community growth and revitalization. And whereas U.S. public transportation use save 4.2 billion gallons annually, and whereas public transportation used in 498 urban areas in the United States save 865 million hours annually in travel time and 450 million gallons of fuel, and without public transportation, annual congestion costs would have been risen by nearly 21 billion, from 121 to 142 billion. Now, therefore, I, William Anthony Bell, Sr., Mayor of the City of Birmingham, Alabama, do hereby proclaim June 16, 2016 as National Dump the Pump Day in Birmingham, and encourages all of our citizens to join and with us and other public transportation agencies across the country and participate in the 9th annual National Dump the Pump Day to encourage transit ridership on June 19, 2016.
Very good. Go ahead.
We'd like to thank the Mayor's Office and the City Council for this proclamation. As you know, we're proud to be the public transit provider for the Birmingham Jefferson County area, serving 3 million passengers a year. And we hope on this day, where we have free rides, that we'll make that 3 million and add you all to that group. We know, Councilor Tyson, that you are a religious supporter, always riding the bus, so thank you.
Well, anyone else?
To Mayor Bell in his absence, and to Council President Austin, Council Pro Tem Hoyt, and to the rest of the council, thank you for the opportunity just to come before you to encourage you to join with us on Thursday to ride Max, and you can ride it for free. Matter of fact, free rides all day. Everybody likes free. And so we encourage you to be a part of this big, massive chain as we partner with other transit properties and authorities across the nation to move people from becoming car dependent to public transportation dependent. Thank you.
Well, let me thank you all for coming this morning. I know Councilor Tyson's always riding the bus, but I had to ride it because I needed to get the miles, and I needed to get down the HUD when I worked at HUD, and needed to get over to the VA hospital to check on my dad and all that. So I rode it because I had to. I didn't have no other choice. And there are many others in this city who don't have any other choice but to ride the transit. And so we appreciate you all coming today. I just believe you all got a fine leader. Y'all a good board, and y'all need to go on and hire this lady. I'm gonna say it again. But I think we got the right person. Just go on and do right by her. She got that power red on today. And women are powerful. They influence the world. And we just need to go on and do that, board. I don't want to coerce you, but I'm just here to tell you, y'all are a good group of folk. And you bring various talents to the transportation, to the transit authority. And so we appreciate that, all of you. Thank you today for coming. Thank Mr. Patton for bringing you here today. These have been great presentations this morning. Thank you so much.
And thank you.
Oh, Ms. Maddox. Miss Maddox, isn't that right? Am I saying that right? Yeah. Miss Murdoch. Yeah. Councilor Abbott want to know your name, so okay, very good. And you're sharp too. Go on, sister. All right.
Mr. Pro Tem, today we have members of the AK Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority here incorporated coming to City Hall. We'd like for them to come and bring greetings on behalf of their chapter.
Okay.
They had breakfast for some staff members this morning, a very nice activity this morning, and they want to share some information.
Will all of the Ascend students please come up? Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for allowing us to have this opportunity. I'm Gwendolyn Tillman, and I am the president of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, the Omicron Omega chapter, of course. I have with me members of the Ascend program, which is an international signature program of our organization, the coordinators of that program, and the Ascend students. The members are very thankful for this opportunity once again. This morning, our Ascend students had the opportunity to participate in a forum with members of the City Council. They talked about social justice, mental health, crime, voter registration, and the relationships between the county and state elected officials this morning. It was a wonderful opportunity for them to hear the message from our leaders in the city, and they will become ambassadors to go out and share that message with the public. In relationship to the sorority, in the last year, we have chosen Birmingham for our Alabama State Cluster. In September, our conference will be here again with the undergraduate roundup. And in 2017, we will have over 3,000 members in the Birmingham area, and we will make a high economic impact on our community. In the last 5 years, we have awarded scholarships to deserving students in the Birmingham area of over $50,000 in the last 5 years. That deserves a round of applause. Thank you. And we provide financial support to Miles College, the American Heart Association, the Kidney Foundation, and NAACP. And we have been doing this for many, many years. And I would like for one of the representatives from the Ascend to talk about the program so that our focus will be on our students. They deserve the focus.
Absolutely. Great.
Hello, my name is Jalea, and I'm a part of the Ascend program. Ascend stands for Achievement, Self-Awareness, Communication, Engagement, Networking, and Developmental Skills. And Dr. Marcia Savage, it plays a pivotal role in that. She helps us with all the events and activities that we are a part of. We have fed the homeless. We have made Easter baskets. We have been dancing across Birmingham, and we do lots of other UN modules and STEM activities during this. And it's very helpful for us because we are mentored by people older than us and people that have been through things, and we're able to learn life skills and be ready for college and learn different things. Thank you.
Wow. Excellent.
Let's give her a round of applause. And I'm so happy to know that we are organized. Again, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the breakfast this morning. This is approximately maybe our third or fourth year coming to be with you this morning. So we just hope that you continue with your service to the community, and we appreciate all that you're doing for the city of Birmingham. Thank you so much, so very much.
Well, Dr. Tillman, let me thank you too, and Dr. Savage and others who are with you. I don't know their names, but the adults, the AKAs. I can cover it with AK, can I? But you all do a wonderful job, and I really appreciate how you all have continued to make a difference in the lives of young people.
Yes.
Certainly not just young folk, but you also make a difference in the lives of many that cross you all's path. And the AKs, like the other sororities, have done a great job in this city.
Thank you.
And you all stand out. And so I appreciate all of you being here. And just for the record, Ms. Tillman taught me when she was about 22 years old, coming to Miles, eager to teach, and I was eager to learn, and I did well in her class, Mr. Patton.
He was a great student.
Absolutely, absolutely. He even wrote a play when I was there. See there. But anyway, and of course, Dr. Savage, I've known her since she was a teenager. Used to ride with her aunt to HUD, and didn't have no car to in. That's why when I couldn't catch the bus, I was catching Regina, her aunt, going. So it's just good. And these young people are just wonderful. Yes. We had a chance to meet them. They questioned us on various concerns that they had this morning. And so we're delighted. And I would say this too, because I think it's important. It's good when young people can see their government at work and to see how it's interwoven and how the difference that it makes with respect to quality of life. And so we really appreciate you all coming and being inquisitive enough to want to know what it is that we are doing, because I think we have a bright future in you, because you are the future of today, not tomorrow, but today. And so you can begin to make a difference right now. You don't have to wait until you graduate from high school. You can do it right now. So thank you so much for all of you for coming this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and thank you for listening. And we would also like for you to go out and invite our young men and women, young ladies, to our SEN program. John is here. So we work with the men, young ladies, and young men in the city of Birmingham. So please go out and spread the word. Thank you so much.
Very good. Thank you. Okay. Is that all, Ms. Pat? You got one more?
Let me ask Ms. Johnson to join me, please. On this past Saturday, we had our second annual Employees Fun Day. Very spectacular event. We're going to let you talk about it. Then we have to make a presentation to the #1 softball team competition persons.
Good morning, everyone. I am here to tell you all about what happened last Saturday out at East Pinson Valley Recreation Center. We had a wonderful time. We had over 500 employees and family members that came out and enjoyed great food, music. We had dance competition by the young people doing the nay-nay. We had horseback riding, water slides, moonwalk. GameStop came out and set up the big setup for the kids. They had a good time. We had basketball inflatables, and the adults enjoyed all the food. I'm going to say this, but the watermelon was a great hit. It really was. People were flocking to the watermelon because it was so hot outside. But we had a good time. We had so much ice cream, snow cones, popcorn, everything you name, and it was just wonderful. And thank you again for everybody that came out and participated. It was a great fellowship. Like I said, plenty of fun, and we just had a good time. Our volunteers was outstanding, and softball was off the chain. Mr. Patton is going to handle that part.
It's kind of confusing. See, because they're firefighters, they say they're in better shape than anyone else. That's what they say. But as I looked around, I saw at least 12 professional softball players out there. I just want you to know that. I don't understand how they beat Park and Rec, because all Park and Rec do is Park and Rec stuff. When I got there, the score was 14-0. I was going to join Park and Rec's team, but I decided not to. The final score was 17-1. So on behalf of the mayor of the city of Birmingham, the softball competition champions for 2016, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, please, were you the one who hit the home run? That was you. Okay. One of the 17 home runs. Okay. Congratulations, gentlemen. Who's accepting?
Morning.
Morning.
All right, first of all, I want to say last Saturday was an awesome event. We had a great time. And I think I can speak for all of my coworkers here saying that we had a great time whipping up on everybody, huh? But I wish I could say that I was one of the ones that hit home runs, but I was more like the coordinator. That's our MVP right there. And also, you left something out, Mr. Patton. We beat the police department.
You beat, okay.
25-0.
25-0.
I mean, 25-4. They had 4, right? Yeah. 4. That's right. That's right.
Police said that they needed one more ending.
Oh, that's what they needed.
That's what they said.
We could have given them one more. All right. But I want to thank you for that right there. And anybody want to say anything else?
I knew she was a player when she came out with 2 gloves on. Yes. Okay. But once again, she played with you? Okay. But once again, on behalf of the city of Birmingham, we thank you so much. And it was just our way, the mayor's office and council, I think I saw 2 or 3 council members out there, of giving something back to our employees. So once again, thanks for all you do. I don't know how you find time to play softball, but apparently you too. But everybody, I think, had a good time. So once again, congratulations. Thanks so much.
Thank
okay?
you. All right. Thank you. Councilor Abbey, you
Yeah,
have something?
before y'all get away, I just want to say congratulations, and also congratulations to Mr. Patton, because the Employee Fun Day was fun. It was hot, but it was fun. And I congratulate the fire department for winning, because y'all are the ones who are physically fit. And, maybe all departments should have a fitness requirement in their jobs, but y'all, I know y'all do, and I want you to be able to come haul me out of my burning house, so I think it's really important. But I wasn't at all surprised that y'all won, because you're the ones who are actually keeping yourselves in good shape, and, a lot of the rest of us aren't. So we appreciate that, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Go fire department. Okay.
That's all,
That's all?
Mr. Chairman.
Okay, move to suspend the rules to hear from our speakers. Second? Yes. Oh, you had something? Oh, okay, okay, I'm sorry. We'll hear from the speakers later. We have presentations. Councilor Robeson? I didn't have that before me, I'm sorry.
It's right here again.
guess it's still morning. Good morning to everyone, and it's truly a pleasure. I want to ask that Coach Leonard Smoot and his golf team and the First Lady of the Miles College golf team please come forward at this time. Back in 2013 in May, Dr. George French, the president of Miles College, was in search of a head coach for golf that could help build a program from the ground up. And he hired a great man that I think very highly of, that is very involved in the golf community in Birmingham, in Leonard Smoot, and challenged him to develop a great team at Miles College. And in a short period of time, in 3 seasons, this gentleman here, along with the young men that he's recruited throughout this country in the Southeast, has won the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference championship in golf for the first time in the history of Miles College. And I think that deserves a round of applause. In 2016, they captured the SIAC championship. Mr. Leonard Smoot was selected as 2016 Coach of the Year and Outstanding Coach of the Conference Championship. Also, 2 players were selected for the first team all-conference team and 3 to make the all-tournament team. In addition, academics are very important at our higher educational institutions. They captured 2015 All-Academic Golf Award with a GPA of 3.595 as a team, which is a major accomplishment for a golf team, and those that know athletics, competing on the course and also getting the classroom is very important. This Miles College golf team competed in the 2016 NCAA South and Southeast Regional Golf Championships and finished 5th in the nation in the PGA Minority Golf Championships. I've talked enough. This gentleman and this organization, this program, is well deserved to be recognized for their great accomplishment, and congratulations to you, Coach Leonard Smoot, and to Miles College Golden Bear Golf Team.
First of all, let me say thank you, Councilman Roberson. When you and I first talked to the mayor's office, Mr. Patton, I've been knowing him quite a long time since I've been here in the city of Birmingham, and to the city council and my church member. It is a pleasure. I moved here in 2013 after retiring out of the United States Marine Corps after 24 years of service. My sister, who stands up here with me, talked me into coming to Birmingham after living in Okinawa, Japan, and I was like, really? But this has always been like a second home to me anyway, since our parents are from down in Sumter County, York, Alabama. So it's always been probably my second home as a kid coming here. And when Dr. French approached me about starting the golf program here, I said, it was 3 or 4 years prior. And at that time, Mr. Patton had a club program over at Miles College, and I have to recognize him for that, because a part of that is why this program has existed. And through that education, and just one of my team captain who started the program with me, Jacob McCurry, who's right down the road in Kimberly, Alabama, took a chance with starting this program with me when we had no budget. And you can do a lot of things if you put your heart, mind, and soul into something to be successful. And part of that, and I have Mr. Charles Cochran, my wife, Melissa Smoot, who put up with a lot of stuff for me, and one of my biggest supporters, and my sister being one of my biggest supporters. And I just want to say, it is an honor to be recognized when you put in your work and the efforts, just like the city council is putting in hard work daily for our city. And I just want to continue to be a part of allowing and helping our young folks grow. And hopefully at some point down the road, we can talk more about golf and how it can help our youth in our community as well. At this time, I'm going to allow one of my players, and my other players are basically home for the summer. We have seven golfers, and hopefully we can win this championship again and hopefully get to a national championship. That's my goal, and you always strive for the best. So I'm going to let Jacob speak briefly, since he is a hometown boy right here in Kimberly, Alabama.
I didn't really know I would be up here speaking, so I don't really have anything prepared, but it's been a great experience to, play college sports. I didn't have any plans to play, and he offered me a little money to come play, so I took a chance, and I'm glad I did because it was a great experience.
Well, we do have one trustee that serves on the board at Miles College that serves on our city council, Councilor Hoyt. And I know he's proud of his alma mater and this great golf team and making history. I thought it was needed to recognize this great accomplishment for Miles College in athletics. And please extend our gratitude to Dr. French, to other trustees at Miles College for the great work that you're doing. And we support you here from the city of Birmingham. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Council, let me say, Mr. Smoot, I'm certainly glad. I know when Dr. French pitched this to us as a board, we had not played golf before, and certainly had not been in anybody's stats. But you have taken this program to another level, and we appreciate that. And I do know that you play better than Mr. Patton, so that's refreshing to know, I think. Does he? I know he's a golfer too. I know he eat and sleep golf. And our own Councilor Robeson play golf too. I got some golf clubs, but I don't know if I can play. So maybe I need to be coming out there and spending some time with you. And I also wanted to say, take liberty to thank Charles Cochran for his years of service at Miles College. He will be retiring from Miles College in July. And let's give him a hand because Charles has done an excellent job of working with the alumni and all, and so we appreciate that very much. We wouldn't be where we are now, wasn't for your leadership, and certainly Dr. French leadership that he's given Miles College, has put us on maps that we've never been on before. So we appreciate that. Appreciate you, sir, from Kimberly. It's just wonderful. Miles is just on the move, and so we appreciate everything. And you know, we have to do better about that budget. So because y'all winning, you know, and it's going to attract some more young people to come to Miles and to play sports. You know, our baseball team is doing an excellent job too. They not like number one, I think. Then they win the little SIAC.
Baseball was third, softball was second, but we won SIAC football as well.
Football, okay, so we're on the move. So thank you so much, and thank you, Councilor Robeson, for bringing them here this morning. Kudos to you all, and so good to see ex-Commissioner Smoot. She's retired, but she probably coming back at some point. But we appreciate the work that you've done in this city as well. And it's always good to see your pretty wife, Brother Smoot. And I'm glad y'all married. I was wondering what was wrong with you, but you did the right thing. So we appreciate that. And I think she's a nurse, so she takes care of those who are sick. She does in medical, but she's pharmaceutical. Okay, pharmaceutical. I knew it was something in medical. Okay, very good. But so good to see all of you this morning. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. All right. It's Council. We have another presentation. Is Councilor Parker here? His group? Councilor Robeson? We need a quorum.
Or one of the others could come back.
Okay. If somebody else could come back, that'd be great. I think he's taking pictures and. Yeah. Well, Brittany, can you bring up the tape for our presentation? We can do the presentation without a quorum, can't we? Can't do nothing, okay. I'm sorry, hold it. Would someone get Council Robeson? Oh, okay. Well, tell- Wow.
Did you get more than 2 resumes? Did you get more than 2?
What's Ray's last name? Lethal. What's Ray's last
There's
name?
only 2.
You know? Ray and I.
Lost.
You know his last name?
I don't know his
You don't
last
know
name. Porter.
Are they through? Tell them we need a quorum.
Council meeting.
Huh?
Look at all.
I had taken some pictures of them. Okay, praise the Lord.
There are a lot of people who have a hard time staying through a council meeting.
Thank you. We have a quorum. Ms. Brittany, if you would, bring up the presentation.
10 for 10. That was the message that resonated at this year's annual Education with a Purpose Scholarship Lynching, as President Pro Tem Stephen Hoyt celebrated the 10th anniversary of the program by awarding 10 deserving students with over $12,000 in scholarships.
When you can help propel young people into the future, I think all of them are going to be very, very successful. And it's really what community is all about, is helping one another.
Organizers of Education with a Purpose say they were overwhelmed with joy to see the huge impact that this program has on so many students within Birmingham.
This is a coming together to let them know and their parents how special they are to us, that these are the leaders of tomorrow.
Councilor Hoyt started Education with a Purpose in 2013, and to this day, he continues to influence past recipients of the Education with a Purpose scholarship.
He's definitely been a mentor for me beyond Education with a Purpose, and I'm so grateful for that. I've learned a lot from Councilor Hoyt, and also have received other opportunities to just come and influence students in a positive way.
Education with a Purpose has played a vital role in the Birmingham community, and Councilor Hoyt says it is his hope that this initiative will exceed his expectations each and every year.
We have a responsibility to maximize, to empty ourselves of our talents, of our gifts, and our capability that God has given us. And when we do that, then we would have done a service to the community and to the world, and then we become world changers.
The 10th annual Party with a Purpose will be held in October 2016. For all the latest news and information, connect with our community or visit our website and subscribe to news updates.
Thank you, Brittany. Mr. President, we have one other presentation, I think, from the Outlaw Youth Organization. Are they here? Okay, very good.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I would like to say thank you for the opportunity.
There you go.
I would like to say thank you for the opportunity for allowing me to come today. I was invited by Councilman William Parker, to introduce the Outlaws Youth Association to the council this morning. I just want, as you see on the packets in front of you, I just want to hit a few points this morning of our mission statement, what makes our program elite, and what makes our program work. Our mission statement, the overall objective of this organization is for the youth of Birmingham, ages 5 to 12. To have an ongoing football and cheer program that molds them into becoming top scholastic athletes in the state of Alabama. We provide our participants with ideal sportsmanship, scholarships, and physical fitness, regardless of race, color, gender, or creed. More specifically, this organization will provide a program oriented to quality supervision and safety mindfulness. a program directed at teaching the fundamentals of youth football and cheerleading, a program allowing its participants to grow with confidence and pride and spirit in an atmosphere that fosters these attributes both on and off the field. What makes our program elite? We have affordable registration fee. For the cheerleaders, it's $150. For the football program, it's $100. With those, it covers all the expenses that we need as far as traveling, also the education program we have put together, also their equipment and uniforms that they will receive. We also the program is built to make them scholastic athletes. But one is our education program. We're working with teachers in the Birmingham City Schools for after-day tutoring 5 days a week at the Inglewood Recreation Center, which is where we are located. Also, we work with USA Football, high school, middle school coaches around the nation, which we just got back from Atlanta, Georgia at the USA Football certification, which we require all our coaches and participants to attend. We also, as I stated, we also, one of the major sponsors of our program is USA Football, NFL, and the NFL and NFLJPD.org organization. And we're also the only team in the Central Alabama Youth Football League, which is located in Montgomery. That the CAYFL Youth Football League, they offer kids ages 5 through 12 the opportunity to play no matter the weight. They don't have a particular weight guidelines that they go by. That means if you have a child that's over 160 pounds and he would like to play, if he would like to play quarterback, running back, wide receiver, he have the opportunity to play that. Also, the most amazing part with our program, we hold our banquet at the end of the year at Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida, December the 2nd through the 3rd. This also gives the kids an opportunity to go to a place that they dream about. Also, adults dream about going. Also, while we're down there on those dates, we get a chance to take part in the Pop Warner Scholastic Awards and Super Bowl that is held that same weekend. And that gives the kids in the city an opportunity to also meet more coaches and more athletes on the professional level that they may not see in every day. What makes our program work? This organization strives and fights for the success of our youth in each community, school, and home. Our job is to guide our youth and lead them to the next level. The purpose of our endeavors is to encompass the whole rather than of its parts. We strive to do so in a democratic fashion, free of adult ambition and personal glory. The welfare and continuing of this organization rests in those who accept the challenges and responsibilities placed upon them for service to others in the overall youth football and cheerleading program. We won't give up until we have reached and changed lives through our youth and our programs. We will make scholastic athletes out of almost every child we can come in contact with, because we believe that they want it just as much as we do. And as I say, this program is one of the elite programs in the city of Birmingham. It differs from the youth programs that we have here in the city of Birmingham. I was introduced to the Pop Warner Youth Football Association back in 2014 when I was a member of the Atlanta Falcons practice team. And I wanted to bring it back home for our kids here, because we don't have kids don't have the extra resources as far as education and knowing the importance of being a scholastic athlete. And then that's what we tend to do. Instead of pushing more of the sports, we want to push more of the education aspect of being a scholastic athlete.
Okay. Well, let me thank you for coming. Let me thank Councilor Parker for bringing you here to introduce your program. It sounds exciting for our young folk, and I'm hoping that you get the kind of sponsorship that you need to further your quest to empower our young people. I think it's important. We build character when we engage our young people in sports, so we appreciate that very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. That concludes
concludes our presentation. Let's move to suspend the rules for our speakers.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Oh, we got it.
Jose W. Thomas.
Okay, while they're coming, let me, we'll do it after they, all right.
Morning, council members.
Good morning. State your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes.
My name is Jose Walter Thomas. I stand here with two family members to represent my father, Willie Thomas of Thomas Land Clearing. He's a demolition contractor who he just relocated back to Birmingham after 25 years service in California. We've been fortunate enough to work on a project next to the 59, demolishing a concrete batch plant. Finished that yesterday. And I came in here today to speak to you gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen actually, to see if you could point us in the right direction as to how a disadvantaged business enterprise in this city can acquire demolition contracts. I believe President Austin spoke to 164 homes needed to be torn down in the future. And we just came here today to sort of voice our expertise. We have the equipment, the knowledge, and the wherewithal to safely demolish these homes and derelict buildings in the city. And we look forward to any opportunities that you guys would be willing to direct us towards.
Do you have any information with you?
I have a business card.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, and what you would need to do is, here's the mayor's chief of operations right here to your left, am I right? Mr. Patton, you can make sure you give him a copy of your business card and he can direct you to who you need to speak with. But I know that I don't know how many contractors we have now, 12? Oh, 4 or 5. But Mr. Patton would be able, but you can give us one of your business cards too and provide one to Mr. Patton.
Thank you.
Council Boyd, Mr. Pro Tem? Yeah, okay. All right, next speaker.
Susan Diane Mitchell.
Courtney. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes, Ms. Mitchell.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
My name is Susan Diane Mitchell. I live at number 10, 11th Court North in the historic Smithfield community of Birmingham, Alabama. I, along with Reverend Majati Rudy, are working with community residents, members, and stakeholders to create the Dynamite Hill Smithfield Community Land Trust. The Dynamite Hill Smithfield Community Land Trust is a community-led initiative to create permanently affordable housing, varieties of community services and institutions, and to mitigate gentrification that often comes as a result of urban renewal. Importantly, it is also an effort to preserve the cultural integrity of the Smithfield community and to prevent the erasure of its beautiful and important legacy in the fight for civil rights. We named Dynamite Hill specifically to honor the bravery of the Black families who defended their homes and resisted the egregious oppressions of the Bull Connor era, to reverse the disinvestment and neglect that has happened in Smithfield over time, and to catalyze a new, thriving, sustainable business district, cooperative fresh market, and eco-village. What I'm here to do today, I'm just going to kind of wrap this up, is to please invite all of you to participate in any way that you can and that your time will allow. We have, as one of 22 new startup community land trusts in the country, we are participating in a year-long capacity building program provided by Grounded Solutions, LLC. And we are, as a result of this, we are awarded a prestigious 4-day on-site professional consultation with Mr. Gus Newport, a world-renowned leader in community-led urban planning and development, civil and land rights activism, and community land trust organizing. as former mayor of Berkeley, California from 1979 to 1986, former executive director of Dudley Street Neighborhood Initiative in Roxbury, Massachusetts, of which we get a lot of inspiration, and former executive director of the Institute for Community Economics. Mr. Newport brings with him decades of experience, knowledge, and wisdom of working with low to moderate income and marginalized communities in asset-based community development, nonprofit administration, and community land trusts. We are honored to have him visit and share his wisdom with the historic Smithfield community and the city of Birmingham. So you all are cordially invited to attend as many of the scheduled events as you wish and are able. And Reverend Majadi Baruti is going to go over and highlight some specific ways that you can participate.
Okay, I am Majadi Baruti, 10 11th Court North, Birmingham, Alabama 35204. There are specific events that we would like you all to attend. There's a community lunch with Gus Newport, Mr. Gus Newport at We Eat Community Cafe. That will be on Thursday, June 23rd from 12:30 to 1:30. But afterwards, we're going to have a community engagement and visioning there as well that we would like you to participate in. And I want to thank Sheila. We want to thank Sheila Tyson specifically for coming to our community education workshop. We appreciate that you actually use the word poverty coming out of your mouth, that you actually say that, and that you attended the workshop so that we could collectively work with the city, the entirety of the city, to mitigate not only gentrification, but to completely eradicate poverty from the city of Birmingham. From 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., there is a Dynamite Hill Smithfield Community Land Trust fundraiser. We'd like you all to come out to Rafiki's Grill, 367 Valley Avenue, also in Birmingham. And on Friday, we have a tour of the western area, the entirety of the western area, as well as Birmingham for Mr. Newport from 11 to 12. And on Saturday, the last day of our event, we will have at the New Beginnings AME Church, also in the Smithfield community in East Thomas, we will have a community-wide event. So you'll be able to not only meet with Gus Newport, but the other members of the Dynamite Hill Smithfield Community Land Trust. And we have some food that we'll be passing out to the community as well.
It's a cookout. It's a celebration. I'm sorry. It's a cookout, so we're going to have hot dogs and all that kind of stuff, and it's free. So please look over the invitation and all of the things that we're planning. Please feel free to contact us at the number of the card, and we hope to see you there. And
Okay.
stay tuned for more information from our efforts as we grow and learn.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilor Tyson, you had something?
Yes. Thank you for coming, and I'm going to definitely try to make it. But they really need to get in contact with John Cologne, Community Development, the program that they have. I actually went to the workshop, and it's the correct way land bank is supposed to be ran.
Right, we have a meeting this afternoon
With
Mr.
John.
Cologne,
Okay,
Mr.
well, that's
And
who you
then there's a-
definitely need to talk to, and you need to meet with the land banking board.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I think, and I have said this, I don't know how many times, I just don't know what the holdup is on hiring a director, a real land banking director, not no one that's in another position. And it's supposed to be ran totally separate from any government, local or state. It's definitely in all the bylaws, and I just don't understand why we keep letting the city of Birmingham run the land banking program.
Well, the Community Land Trust Network Conference we attended in 2015, the international conference we attended in Lexington, Kentucky. They discussed land banks and how they operate, how they're supposed to operate, and they are supposed to work. They are made to work with citizenry. And this particular nonprofit that we're putting together, the Dynamite Hill Smithfield Community Land Trust, we're supposed to work hand in hand with that.
Absolutely.
With that dynamic, and they're working in other cities, so it's not a bizarre concept. It is very easy to work with us to get this off the ground.
All right, thank you.
So we're hoping that Mr. Gus Newport will help us to learn what we need to do to partner effectively with the city and other organizations that would be deeply interested in this effort. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next speaker. Hubbard, Trish, is it? Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes.
My name is Evangelist Actress Hubbard. I reside at 8322 Fifth Avenue South in the East Lake community.
Okay.
I am the founder of Heavenly Hands Outreach Ministry. I am currently active member of the East Birmingham Church of God in Christ, where Bishop Peter Sr. is my pastor. I am the 2016 recipient of the NAACP Award for Community Service and Outreach, which brings me to the point I'm here today. I came to introduce a project that God gave me on last year. As we know, we have many that comes out and feed the homeless, but God gave me something different. He gave me a toiletry drive. When I started last summer, I only had 30 bags, but I yet believe God for more. And so this past December, we were able to come up with 300 toiletry bags, which consists of me collecting toothpaste, toothbrush, washcloth, hand wipes, and different personal items that the homeless can use. I call it my care bag. And I brought a couple of bags here today to show you what they look like. Each one of the bags, this would be a woman's bag. Inside of this bag, it's the same thing, but we have personal items, personal products in the women bags. And in the men bags, we have socks. We have the socks, the comb, the brush. UAB gave me some caps, so we got some caps this time, and different personal hygiene. So I just came today to introduce the officer. Actually remembered me from the winter, and the winter bags is different because we add fleece blankets, hats, and gloves in this, and we actually give out. Our spot is right actually in front of the city hall is where we get out. So I'm just here today. I don't know if there's anything that the city can do can help assist us to oversee our goal of 300. And this is the flyer that I pretty much got all over Birmingham. Just inviting people to become a part of this. Homeless is everybody's responsibility. No, I'm not homeless. No, have I ever been homeless. Amen. But it's just the passion that I have for God's people, and this is just was such a unique idea that they want to brush their teeth also and wash their face, but just don't have it to do it. So I'm here today to see if it's anything that the city can offer or the city can do. If it's nothing but assigning someone to collect the items, and I just come pick the items up. It's not all about the money. I just want the items in which I take out to the homeless to pass out. Does anybody have any questions? I'm so nervous.
Mr. Pro Tem?
Well, I was going to say, I think it's an excellent idea, and this has been a philanthropic community where we've helped persons, what have you. I think that our PIO office, as a matter of fact, I would think that both of them, for the mayor and for the council, would help to get that message out, and to see if we could, Mr. Patton could choose a place where these things could be collected. And then distributed by you. I just think it's wonderful.
Thank you.
And thank you for your heart to help the people in this city. Absolutely, I think it's wonderful.
Thank you.
Mr. President?
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Councilor Scales.
Yes, I wanted to say, because I did get your message, so just take a deep breath. You've done well. I agree with you. I know our church is doing a more permanent work to eliminate homelessness in the city of Birmingham. That has to be intentional. That can't be a project that we start and stop, because the pool you'll have with you always. And so with that having said, I would also, I saw Kiara right there. You see the beautiful girl right there, young lady with the brown dress on? Okay, she's going to get your information. The council, actually, during the time of the Magic City Classic, we have a homeless initiative, actually, that we do. And I think that could be one of your inquiries in terms of how you can participate with that. But it's a give back. It's not homeless, but it's called a give back program. And last year, the council as a whole had given to all of the homeless shelters in the area, to the degree they couldn't even take anymore. And we actually delivered it ourselves. It's a very real need, and some of us don't understand. You just a paycheck away from being the recipient of just what you have to offer. So if you could, when you do talk with Kiera, I'd be interested in seeing, you know, maybe how you can help us in that initiative. I think that that would be great. I applaud you, but just always remember, God remembers your labor of love. Man will forget, but God remembers, right? And so God is the one that's going to bless you back. That means that we don't look for affirmation. We don't look for acceptance from anybody. Once God told you to do it, he said, if I be for you, I'm more than the world against you. You understand?
Yes,
So the key thing is he's for you. And when he's for you, where he leads, he also provides. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. So be encouraged, sister. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Councilor Tyson.
My hat's off to you. And we do a program. I want to tell you something else that you can do. We actually do a program with the high school students. We ask people who are traveling to get the little condiments and the little welcome package that they give in the hotel with the shampoo and stuff. We collect all of that, and we actually give it to high school students, because you'll be surprised of the students that don't have deodorant and soap and toothpaste here in Birmingham. And you can also do that also. You can go to especially companies that travel a lot, like City Hall is one of them, you know, and Alabama Power and the gas companies that travel. You can ask them to bring, when they travel, just bring it, you know, in one location. And it would be easier for them to carry also, you know, and because, you know, by them being homeless, they can't carry a whole lot of stuff. But I would be more than happy to assist you on that with City Hall. And we can split the items with Parker High School and with your organization.
And that's why my job, Kirkland Clinic, donated these little grab bags.
Mm-hmm.
And my ultimate goal is to one day be able to purchase the backpacks. But I haven't quite got there yet, but I haven't given up either. And so with that, they're able to carry it. And just to see the face to hear somebody say, okay, a toothbrush. So,
right.
So I'm super excited.
That's great.
Ms. Pro Tem, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead, Council.
Thank you, Ms. Pro Tem. You're so kind. So then, that brings me to this question here, Mr. Patton. Am I permitted at this time to ask the Law Department a question? You're so kind. I like it when you oblige me. So, being that we've talked about services, I know that this was last week when we were talking about Mr. Stanley and Mr. Bentley was in your place in regard to things that the council can be able to assist with legally. So, when we speak of items such as this, is this casing scenario, not just the person behind it, but is this something, because I agree with Councilor Tyson, years ago, I did that for Huffman High School. In fact, I did it for all the schools in my area that I adopted, because we have a lot of children that are in poverty in this city. Some are homeless, and they are in halfway homes, and then there are some of my babies that just didn't have it. And so I know the need, and I agree. We also have children like that. Is that something that the council legally can participate in if there is a bona fide 501c3 and they're providing assistance to the citizens' welfare and benefit in the city? Is that permissible?
Councilor Scales, the city does have fairly broad authority under state law to do things to assist nonprofit groups in providing services, housing, and other things for the homeless. We need to look at the particular proposal, but the city in general has authority granted by the legislature to act in that area.
Okay, so that is one of the ones that we have a little bit more agility.
Correct. Yes.
Well, praise the Lord. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Pro Tem, for allowing me to ask that question. Did you get what he just said? You want me to break it down?
Break it down.
Okay. In essence, the council can be able to assist 501c3s that deal with the area of homelessness. Okay. And to the wise is sufficient. You got it?
All right. Now, President Austin was here, said no applause, but he's not here. So I think every now and then we need to applaud that kind of work because it's needed. And I'm one who has worked with the homeless population. I did that for more than 5 years with Birmingham Healthcare, and I do know that any given day there are 3,000 persons who are homeless in this city. And homelessness doesn't just necessarily mean somebody sleeps under the viaduct. But when you don't have running water, when you don't have gas and light, that's substandard housing, that's homelessness. And so we know that that's happening every day in our communities. And so I thank you for coming this morning and sharing that with us. And hopefully we're going to be able to help you in that effort. I just think it's wonderful. And matter of fact, I'm going to just go ahead now and allow you to do part of what the purpose that we're going to incorporate you this year with part of the purpose to collect those items there in Inslee. And so I love it. It's just wonderful. And then all of us having different events, so we could just, I guess, station you. And then the other thing is that we got to get some volunteers. I see our young people here. You know, we talked about volunteering and being involved in the community. This is a great opportunity for our young folk who are working here this summer. That's something you can do after you leave here that will be a great benefit to to society. So, and hopefully we can get you the help that you need to collect that. And so, and maybe we just, kind of have your bags there that day and just kind of have a group of folk just bagging and stuffing and what have you, so that when you leave there, your stuff is already done. How about that?
That's good, because I've been having everybody on the assembly line in my living room.
I'm asking Candace to get with you. I hope she's listening before you leave. So just sit there until my folk come and approach you. Yes, ma'am.
And also, it wasn't just the home. We had so much stuff where people had donated to me that we were able to adopt Golden Living Nursing Home over in Hueytown. So, and then what we had left, we took it to the fire station. And then on every 5th Sunday, I'm in the First Light Women and Children Shelter. So I'm always doing something.
Okay, awesome.
Can we ask the jobs to send out a memo? The people who travel bring their stuff and put it in a box at a certain location. Can we do that? Like if we put it down?
Yeah, I think our PIO persons can help with that messaging.
And also the target date for this particular drive is the third Saturday in July. I've been doing it, I kind of started it in January. So the tentative target date for this particular drive would be the 3rd Saturday in July, but whatever other event that you have that you want me to be a part of, then you just let me know and we can make
I think
that
we got
happen.
Jazz in the Park coming up in Inslee, so that might be an opportunity as well. And so get with our PIO person and hopefully we can get that coordinated.
So, Hart.
Yes.
Pro Tem, I did have one other quick question of the Law Department. Does this need to be in terms of, are you a 501c3?
No, sir, I'm operating out of a friend of mine's, ROT.
But they have a 501c3.
They have a 501c3.
So does this, assisting this program, does it have to be declared a public purpose? And if so, can you walk us through it? Tell us what we need to do?
We would want to have a contract, an agreement with the 501c3 that dictates how the city funding goes. Again, we need to see the whole proposal to make sure all the parameters fit within what the law says we can do. We'd have a contract with them to administer that particular program for the city.
Okay.
And we would cite the statutory authority. It's Chapter 96A of Title 11 of the Code of Alabama.
Okay, hold on. You said that too fast. 96A,
Title 11 of the Code of Alabama.
Title 11, which is, in short?
It deals with homelessness and affordable housing. They're both combined in.
You know it, Chaz? You know what it is? Okay. All right. So I just wanted, so long as we have in the contract 96A, Title 11?
It's part of the memo that Jared Cook provided to the council, previously, all the committee assistants have the language where it spells out different categories what the counselor can give to organizations that provide a service. And that's one of them dealing with the welfare and needy, yes.
Okay. Because that's the other thing too. The only request that I would have of you, Ms. Hubbard, is that if we can get this worked out with who you're partnering with, is that I'd like for those schools in my area. I'm always giving in terms of the schools, but I want to make sure that it's targeted. You understand what I mean? So that's the way that need to go. But I just wanted to say that. But I think you got good news today. Yeah. So you get with your partner. You need to get with Chaz to make sure you have a transparency form on file, and then that's giving the council things to work with. Mr. Pro Tem came up with a wonderful idea because I have an event August the 5th, and that generally draws about maybe 1,500 folk, and then we can just make it to where, because I'll get you some folk, and so we'll just have some barrels out there where one of the things for them to come would be that they need to bring, an item for someone in need, and I think that the public will do that. And also, Mr. Pro Tem, I think that maybe because the city of Birmingham employees, we have the best employees in all of Alabama. I think as they hear, and maybe on certain days, Mr. Pro Tem, that our beautiful students back there in the back, they look like they just need something to do. Praise the Lord. And so we can make sure that certain days that folk give, and then our council assistants will help with that. And so Brittany is hearing us. Now I'm just coming up with different little ideas as we speak, and then the law department is going to show the council how to use our sphere of influence in such a way. And when I say that, I have to make sure I say it in its full context, that there are people that we know that we can probably ask to help. I mean, talking about homelessness is not going to help. I get you, Ms. Pro Tem. Thank you so much. You're so kind. Bless you.
Thank you. We've been gracious today. Thank you. Next speaker.
What I do, just sit right here?
Yes, somebody's going to come. My folks going to come and get with you. Okay.
I think it's Alan Washington.
Get that card. That was for her too, on that seat. Okay. Ms. Washington?
Alan. Mr.
Alan Washington?
David Warren.
David Warren?
Renee Height.
Ms. Height? If you would, state your name and for the record and your address.
I'm Renee Hyatt, 304 Eastview Drive, Birmingham, Alabama 35215.
Okay.
I'm here to ask a question. This past Thursday, we had a shooting on our street. This house is a Section 8 house. This house has also been shut down for drug activity. They had raids in this house in 2012. And I'm wondering why this person is still able to live this house, because it is a Section 8 house. My understanding is when it's a Section 8 house, if there's drug activity, you're supposed to be evicted. This drug shooting was here Thursday night. A bullet went into my neighbor's house. A .45 caliber bullet went through the house into the wall. Kids were on the street playing. My street is Eastview Drive. This shooting was on Eastview Boulevard. The houses on my street, people were literally hitting the floor. Kids were in the swimming pool. The bullets went by the people's deck. They're out on the porch. But there's nothing being done. The person who was involved in this shooting, she was not arrested. She's still on the street walking. I don't understand why. I mean, why can we get not? Why is this house still active?
Do you have a police report?
Yes, sir. Police were there. We had 9 police cars, detectives, ambulance, fire trucks, everything.
Okay.
They did their thing. They did their job. But I don't understand why this lady still lives here. It's her daughter's doing this.
Well, do you know what Section 8 entity that have? I mean, do you know who it is?
The lady who lives
so
there.
how do you know it's Section 8? As I'm trying to find out.
Well, we were told, and I went down to the courthouse and got the paperwork on it also.
Okay, and so who the Section 8 with?
I think it was in Bessemer. When I called them, they said I have to go to the the courthouse to get the information.
Okay.
And then contact the owner. So,
Well, you need to report that to the Bessemer Housing Authority.
okay, we did, but they're telling me they couldn't do anything about it because I had to, I had to find out who owned the house. But then since confidentiality, I can't say the word.
Confidentiality.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that they can't do nothing about it. We're in Jefferson County, Birmingham.
Mhm. Well, you probably at the wrong council. Well, no, no, you're in the right place, but you also need to go to the Bessemer City Council and see if they could launch some investigation.
Okay. Also, there's a
Because-
house.
Because I think if you had a police report and that was presented to the housing authority, it has a duty to get, to get to the bottom of this.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's a house also, it's facing 5 Mile Road. This young girl, she's going back and forth to this house. We've been told there's prostitution and drug activity in this house.
Okay.
So,
Well, and you're in the right place. We got the police department, and we got Vice, who could also provide you with some help with that. So, Mr. Patton, I don't see anybody from the police department here. Oh, that's okay. If you talk to that young lady in the back, she could probably get with you and see if we could do a little.
yeah. I did this on my street 56 years. We've never had this until 2012.
Right.
And it's been, and Ms. Scales is doing the phenomenal, getting this area cleaned up and, it's making an improvement. But still, we still got these drug houses and stuff.
Okay.
And they're doing a good job in the park, keeping the cleaning out the park with the drug activity, but still, it's still there,
Okay.
And you're scared to walk in your yard now, and you don't know if you're gonna get shot.
Well, you should not be scared, and we don't need the thugs to take over the neighborhood, so we gonna get some help.
All right, thank you.
Okay, all right, and so see that young lady in the back, I don't know. Okay. All right, well, thank you. Next person.
Deborah Daniels.
Well, good afternoon. Deborah Daniels, and I'm with Prison Fellowship Ministries. I am the Southeast Area Director, and just a little bit about Prison Fellowship. It was started by Chuck Cosin, who was Special Assistant to President Nixon and served his time here in Alabama. But I'm here today to just introduce you to a movement that we have started called the Offender Alumni Association, with the support of Prison Fellowship and one of our community partners, Impact Family Counseling. The Offender Alumni Association's mission is to empower and inspire former offenders like myself to become actively involved in reducing crime and restoring our communities. We've kicked off our initiative in Titusville, and we are committed to going the first and second Saturday of every month. And we've been out there now 3 Saturdays in a row, cutting grass, trimming weeds, doing whatever needed to be done, whatever the residents asked us to do, pick up trash, because we realized that we were part of the problem in our communities. And now what we want to do is be part of the solution. And we want to give back. That's my desire, okay? And it's not that I'm nervous, it's a passion that I have to see us. There are a lot of us who were the offender that are now doing good, and we're tax-paying members of society now. And if we could only unite ourselves and be given an opportunity to be recognized and to be given an opportunity to join hands with the city, with the state, with all our department agencies, and to show that once a criminal doesn't mean we're always criminals, and that we can change. We have some support from Sanford University. This is one of our students, Isaac DeWitt, who has joined with us from Sanford, and they come and they have been out in the community with us. He was actually in Titusville on this Saturday that just passed, helping us to clean up the area. Some of the other things that we have done is we have also initiated an Offender Alumni Association movement behind the prison walls, starting at St. Clair. And the department, the commissioner of the Department of Corrections have embraced us and allowed us to come back in. But we're just here today, not to ask for anything, but just to make our voice known. And there's about 25 of us who are working with the governor's office, with Dr. Agee on the Violent Reduction Initiative. And we are just wanting you all to know we're here. We understand, like the lady that was talking about what's going on in her neighborhood. Who better to reach out to those people than those who have been there themselves? But I'm gonna let Isaac tell you a little bit about his involvement, if you don't mind. Do we have time?
Yes. Move to suspend the rules.
My name's Isaac DeWitt. I'm the president of the College Democrats at the Stanford University chapter, and I've come to get to know Miss Deborah and the director, Dina Dickerson, through another friend from Stanford who knows former Justice Drayton Neighbors, who's helped out Miss Deborah. And she's gotten me involved in this, and I've always been somebody who's been passionate about Birmingham. I've grown up here. I love the city, and I really think that this is a great group and a great opportunity to improve our neighborhoods and improve our community and bring people together. And I am not an ex-offender, but when I sit down and talk to these people who want to give back to something they think that they were detrimental to before, I realize that they really are the best that we have to be on the front lines. So thank you for your time.
Okay. Well, and thank you all for coming. I would just ask that you access the Dannon Project, Carrie Pruitt.
Oh, yes, sir. We have been working with them through the
and Judge
victim.
Sparks, who has a program where he lends some of the folk who are trying to work their way back into community and what have you. If you would do that. And
We have been in contact with them.
Well, you got all the folks, and you know
Our
everybody.
only desire here today is to introduce ourselves to the council. And if there's anything, I heard you say we need volunteers.
Right.
We are your volunteers, sir.
Okay,
So if
awesome.
we can come and help with jazz in the park or any of those activities, we have our shirts, not that we're trying to advertise, but we just want
need
people
to.
to know
That's good.
that we are here and we want to give back. I'm sorry.
Are y'all trying to do a housing
No,
program?
ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
We are not trying to, and we are not a reentry program. We are not trying to do housing at all. We are just a movement, and we are wanting to give back. And that's all we want. No, we're not trying to start a housing.
All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I've heard your arguments on that. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
But we can clean it up. We can clean it up. So
If we can clean it up, we
Yeah,
just want to help.
absolutely.
But anyway, thank you all for your time, and
Thank you.
thank you, Councilor Tyson, for your representation in that area. And if we can be of assistance to you in any way, just let us know. All right?
Very good.
Thank you.
All right, next speaker.
Willie Jenkins.
Mr. Jenkins.
Willie Jenkins, 81 Fifth Avenue North, East Lake. I would like to, my prayers go out to the mayor, William Bell, in his Houston, and to the other city council. I'd like to say we are men of prayer. We'll be at East 10 Baptist Church, 2609 6th Avenue South for Father's Day. We're going to be there. I would like to all the city council, to all the fathers of District 4, William Parker, all the fathers, happy Father's Day. And also, I want my prayer go out to Raymond, Miss Womack. Raymond Womack is one of my church members, lost his life. Had a massive heart attack, and my prayers go out to one of my church members. And it's going to be Saturday at 12 o'clock, Oak Street Baptist Church, Reverend Marvin Connor, pastor. And I would like my prayers go out to Anthony Jerome King. He graduated from Carver High School. And what happened was down in Florida, he got drowned and went to the service. 16th Street Baptist Church, everybody turned out real nice at 16th Street. He was a member of Doer of the World. And I want my prayers go out to that family homegoing of Anthony Jerome King. And also, I want to select a happy birthday to Mildred Milton. It's one of my relatives. She's celebrating 83 years old this coming Saturday at Brownville Heights Community Center. That'll be this Saturday at 1 to 5. And also, I would like to say to the mighty Carver Realm, we getting ready, Carver, for the reunion that's going to be at the school. I ain't got the information yet. I'm a member of Carver alumni. And I will get the information to y'all to the reunion coming up pretty soon. And we'll let y'all know. And my prayers go out to Mr. Bannon. I did go to the service of Mr. Bannon. And I want to say my prayers go out to God be with the family of Mr. Bannon. Yeah, and with my God pretend to bless him and hold on to this God and change in hand. And I just want to say, yeah, I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to come to the picnic, when I was just tied up this weekend. To the city, I know they had a nice time, the employees picnic. I guess it was real nice. And like I said, we getting ready for our reunion. And I would like to say, we come see us, Council, Mr.
Right.
Miller Praise,
Okay.
but we be getting off sometimes. We be singing. Walker, he could sing. He a great singer.
Amen.
And so we be getting down. We're gonna be there this Sunday, over there to the East End Baptist Church this Sunday. I think we're gonna be at 3 o'clock. Yeah, 3 o'clock this coming
Mr.
Sunday.
Jenkins,
Yeah, this coming
wrap
Sunday.
it up.
Okay, there. Okay, that's all I said.
All
Happy
right.
Father's Day to all the fathers, and God bless,
thank you.
including William Bell, all the fathers. Happy Father's Day, and God continue to be with y'all.
All right, thank you kindly. Next person.
Ladarius, you.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
To Mr. Patton in the absence of the mayor, President Pro Tem Hoyt, my counselor, Councilor Lundy, and to all councils. Today, we, the Jefferson County Millennial Democrats, come with yet another initiative for the council in hopes that you will look at this new ordinance and see the help and need that it is. We realize that with the millennials, as we call them, the younger generation, we honor Dr. King, and we talk about Dr. King a lot, but we forget about Thurgood Marshall. And that's something that has been real heavy on not only my heart, but our Vice President heart as well. We march and we protest, and we march and we protest, but unless there's actual policy and law put in place, it'll just be exactly what it is, march and protest. We come today talking about domestic violence and the housing discrimination ban. The domestic violence housing discrimination ban, it talks about domestic violence as a pattern of violence or intimidation in an intimate relationship by one partner against another, designed to establish power and control over the victim. It may be physical, sexual, and include psychological abuse or assaults. Victims of domestic violence frequently struggle with housing discrimination, including denial of new leases, refusal to renew leases, refusal of housing assistance, evictions, and being unable to temporarily leave their home to escape domestic violence. Nationally, 11% of evictions involve discrimination against domestic violence victims. We come today to introduce this ordinance. It was passed in the city of New York as a domestic violence municipal policy. Domestic violence housing discrimination ban ordinance signed into law in New York City on March 28th. The domestic violence housing discrimination ban amended the New York City Human Rights Law, which is one of the most expensive municipal human rights codes in the nation. At this time, we'll have our Vice President, Adam Arrington, come to actually talk about the ordinance of the bill.
I'd like to thank you all for allowing us to come before you today This is a great privilege and a great honor. Pretty much what we're doing is Jefferson County Millennial Democrats. We really just want to shine a light on domestic violence, honestly. I didn't realize how much of an issue it was until I actually started doing the research myself, and I even had a family member that was involved in it as well. So just to get to it, just to make a long story short, in 2016, as we know, we've lost over a dozen lives to domestic violence in Birmingham. And according to the National Alliance to End Homelessness, they had a survey called Point in Time. And out of 1,138 people experiencing homelessness in the Birmingham area on any given night, 163 are survivors of domestic violence. So what that means is pretty much over 14% of people experiencing homelessness in our community are survivors of domestic violence. So the ordinance, what it says is some of the language is the Domestic Violence Housing Discrimination Ban. And it says this ban prohibits landlords, real estate agents, and others engaged in housing market to refuse to sell, rent, lease, or otherwise provide housing accommodations to people on the basis of his or her status as a domestic violence, stalking, or sex offense victim, regardless of whether victimization is actual or perceived. And the reason we thought it was really important to pass this ordinance and bring it before you all is because according to the Housing Authority in Birmingham, it dictates that applicants for public housing meet the following requirements. All family members must be clear of any history of criminal activity involving drug or alcohol abuse or crimes of physical violence to persons or property. Also, references from previous landlords must indicate that there is no record of disturbance to neighbors, destruction of property, or poor housekeeping habits. So just reading that alone just kind of pretty much sums it up. We just don't want citizens that no cause of their own being discriminated against in housing because they're involved in domestic violence. So we would really love for you all to consider it. We thank Mayor Bell, District Attorney Falls, and also other government agencies who coordinated the One Place project. But we definitely think a policy in place from the City Council and the city would be awesome, just to show the victims that we're behind it, we're behind them, and we support them. So thank you all.
Thank you all for coming. Anyone? Okay. If not, then, Council Scales, we start with you from your announcements.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro
Oh,
Tem.
let me do this before you do that. We have a travel request for Council Scales. This is the National Urban League Career Connection, New Orleans, to be held on June the 30th, 2016, and through the July the 3rd. And so, do I need to give you an amount too?
Yes.
Okay, the amount is $1,806.91. We need to move.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, that's for UC, and now I need the
All right,
actual.
now the item.
Somebody move it, I'm sorry.
Move.
Okay. Second.
Second.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
All right. That's it.
All right.
Council
Declare it.
Scales.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem. As always, I want to thank the citizens of District 1 as well as the City of Birmingham for affording me the opportunity to be their voice. I also want to thank my council colleagues for a number of things. One is the item that you all just passed. We just appreciate the support in that regard so we can go ahead and do some great things at that particular program. Also, I want to thank my colleagues who sent me all well wishes and all kind of nice things on yesterday. I celebrated 25 years of being married, got married at 20, and so been married now 25 years. And husband sent me a text today and said, can you come on home and be back home with your husband? So that's a good thing when 25 years later they still want you to come on back home. They could want you to be outside. So nevertheless, I want to thank everyone for their well wishes, and to God be the glory for it. There is one thing that you take a covenant, and one thing about that covenant says in sickness and in health, and that means that in good and bad times. And so that's why I let everybody else know, if you get to be Miss Scales, after this Miss Scales, you won't be getting nothing, because I'm there for the long haul. And so with that having said, congratulations to Brother Mike. and I really appreciate my husband. I keep my private life private for a reason. But nevertheless, I always talk about the fact my husband is a wonderful provider and has always taken care of his wife. So I make no bones about it. I wouldn't trade him for the world. Even when I want to, I think about how good he is, and I said, that's all right, I'll take you back. So this is for the mayor's office, that on the right-of-way, we have a right-of-way at the intersection of Parkbrook Lane, which is over there in Echo Highlands and Old Pinson Valley Parkway, that needs to be cut. And I'm sure in that area probably needs to be sprayed as well. So that's the right-of-way at the intersection of Parkbrook Lane and Pinson Valley Parkway. We'd also like to report, too, that in the 2000 block of Redwood Circle that there is a property that is overgrown and that the weeds have become a public nuisance. So we just wanted to make sure that we noted that as well. So Mr. Kidd, Ron Kidd, if you're listening to that, that's the 2000 block of Redwood Circle. And there is a property that has overgrown. Also, I'm excited about discussions pertaining to the budget. You being a taxpayer, you want to know how your tax dollars are being spent. Here's a wonderful opportunity starting today, but I wanted to highlight the one that's in District 1, which is going to be a Parkway Christian Fellowship, and that's on this Thursday, so you need to save the date, mark your calendar, Thursday, June 16th, 6 o'clock. The address is 9753 Parkway East, which is right next to Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic Church. Do you have to live in District 1 in order to be able to attend this particular event? Absolutely not. So I just wanted to make sure that you knew and you're always aware and engaged and active in your community. So again, that's this Thursday. Want to know how your money is being spent on capital projects and how we operate as a city? That's going to be this Thursday, 6 o'clock, June 16th, Parkway Christian Fellowship. Need more information? Please call the Birmingham City Council office, 254-2294. And I don't think we have any neighborhood meetings on this week, but I'll forego anything else that we may have. But I'm just really excited about August 5th. We have our 7th annual Music and Movie Festival and want you to save the date and mark your calendar for that too. So we're going to have some exciting live entertainment. We have water slides and all kind of real good stuff. So y'all know how we turn it up, as they say, over in District 1. You can hear us all the way down Parkway East. So we keep peace in the East, but we do have fun too. So thank you so much, Mr. Pro Tem, for acknowledging me, and I look forward to our budget meeting tonight. I'm sure it's going to be extremely informative, and the public is going to see how we're working on their behalf. Thanks again.
President, we have a goal of trying to be out here by 1.
Wait a minute, Mr. President, I did have one other thing, and Councilor Tyson, I think she might be a part of this, but our First Lady of the country is having a State of the Women. Aren't you a part of that? Okay. So it's at 4 o'clock today. So for all of my Facebookers and all of my beautiful young ladies back there in the back, and men too, but my young ladies, I want you to tune into it live on Facebook today, talking about the state of women. I think it's so very needed just because of the fact that women can be their own worst enemy. And so I look forward to our younger girls being able to embrace and love themselves and then learn how to love other women and what they do. But that has to be in you as a child. So I just wanted to make sure that I made mention of that, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. The next Education Committee meeting will be Tuesday, June 28th at 2 p.m. in conference rooms D and E. The Forest Park South Avondale Business Association and Rev Birmingham and myself are presenting the 5th annual Movies at Avondale Park. Tonight we have a pre-movie called Bottomless, and then the real movie is Minions. The movie starts at 8:15 with live music, and the amphitheater opens for seating at 7 p.m., and there'll be hula hoops, yoga, and a bicycle ride around the lake. So if anybody doesn't have anything to do this afternoon, that's a good thing to do. This past week, of course, they held their first movie last Tuesday. Then on Saturday, the second annual City of Birmingham Family and Employees Fun Day was held. That was really nice. The only thing I would like for you to do, Mr. Patton, is do something about the temperature. If you could just take care of that for next year, everything will be fine. But it was good we were in a park that had a lot of trees in it, so we had some shade. But it was very successful. Then the Pride Week parade was held on Saturday night, and that's the reason that Oldsmobile convertible is down in the parking area. And then Central Alabama Pride Week, the festival was at Sloss Furnaces on Sunday afternoon. This week's events, 4:30 today, there is a flag retirement ceremony at Vulcan. Today is Flag Day. It is also my son's birthday. I won't tell you which one because he's getting to the point where he may not be proud of it anymore. But then tonight we have 3 neighborhood meetings, the first at 6 o'clock, the second at 6:30, and the third at 7 o'clock, so that's going to be interesting. And we also have a 5 o'clock budget meeting today. Then on Saturday, Carolyn Johnson is signing her book, When Your Child is Murdered. The forum is from 2 to 4, and the book signing is from 4 to 5 at the Birmingham Public Library. On Monday, we have the I-22 ribbon cutting, thank goodness, because that road has been under construction for about 10 years? Seems like it. It's taken forever. So thank you, Mr. President. Today is a busy day.
Council Tyson, step down. Council Roberson.
I want to wish happy birthday to my father. Also, we do this every year, don't we, Council Abbott? James Roberson Sr., who's celebrating another year of prosperity and good life. Thank you for being a mentor, a friend, a coach, a deacon, a grandfather, a father to many, and I just want to let you know that we love you. I want to congratulate Lawson State Community College and Dr. Ward again. They were recipients a few weeks ago of an EPA grant, an amount of $200,000 to educate young people on environmental opportunities and profession. They also received a grant this past week from NASA to advance their STEM projects with their STEM program at Lawson State Community College. So congratulations to you, Dr. Ward, and your administration for the great work they're doing there. Riley Trevelick will meet tonight at 6 o'clock. On Thursday, Industrial Center will meet at 1:30. Hillman Neighborhood will meet at 6 o'clock, and Germania Park will meet at 6 o'clock on Thursday. I do want to wish all the fathers a happy Father's Day. Do not do anything strenuous. Relax and enjoy your weekend. Hopefully we can play some golf, Mr. Patton. Y'all have a blessed one. Thank you.
Thank you, leadership. Mr. Patton, I will forward a list of opportunities for the mayor's office via email to your assistant and yourself, and I appreciate a response. I want to give a special shout out to the folks in Pratt for coming together around our colleague in his untimely passing. Leroy Bandy was a real man of service, and just really pleased that all the 6 neighborhoods in the Pratt community could come together to really show the love and respect that we had for Mr. Bandy. On Friday, the Pratt community is coming together at 5:30 p.m. Adjacent to the Pratt Library to look at the plans for Pratt, North Pratt, on the homes that we're going to be building there, the projected recreational center that we're going to be building there. So it's called One Pratt, and we're all coming together as One Pratt to look at those plans to look at the homes that we're gonna build and the rec center. So we're gonna have hot dogs, chips, sodas, and we're just gonna come together in fellowship and look at the potential of the community as we move forward. I'm excited about where Pratt is heading, and your input in this meeting is vital because you get to have a say in, where the redevelopment is going to go. After 5 years, we're finally coming together as one Pratt. So all people who are from Pratt, currently reside in Pratt City, or just have an affinity for the area, we look forward to having you this Friday right there at the Pratt Library. We're going to have a tent set up. We're going to do hot dogs, chips, and sodas again. So all are welcome as we look to the plans of how we will rebuild Pratt. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, President. Now, I had to leave out because I got a call from D.C. I was supposed to have been in D.C. today, and a part of that conference, but I gave up my trip because I felt like I needed to be here for the vote for the Port Authority because I didn't know how it would work. So I stayed, and so now we can be ready to start a Port Authority. Mr. Patton, on 1240 16th Street Southwest, an abandoned house in the community has been complaining about it since I've been in office. And they want it down because people living in it and fighting and everything else in there. We need that down. The PIC meeting will be Thursday, June the 16th at 2 p.m. in Conference Room A. A part of the Women's Conference in D.C., this is a part of the conference right here. I am my sister's keeper. It's a women's empowerment series that we are doing. It will be Friday, June the 17th at Loveman's Village in the gym at 5 p.m. All public, the public is actually welcome to come. We have door prizes. We have a lot of things going on with the women's series. It's actually in 37 states. Alabama is actually one state, and we are in 23 counties here in the state of Alabama. There will be a meeting at South Titusville tonight, Titusville Library, 6 p.m., West Arlington, West End Library, 6 p.m. tonight. Great Mountain Neighborhood will be meeting Wednesday, June the 15th at 4 p.m., Smithfield Library. North Titusville will be meeting Saturday at the Titusville Library at 11 a.m. That's the end of my announcements.
Well, just wanted to, mention to those who may not know that Miss Mamie Helen Gale Hines, a longtime educator, retired school teacher, and secretary for Bellevue Heights, passed last Wednesday. Funeral was on this past Saturday, and just want to say that she's going to be sorely missed. She was a great friend of mine, and I'm just glad that I had an opportunity to go and see her when she was up. And she was a great writer, had a great penmanship, and we often exchanged notes. And I was going through a card that she had given me Friday or Saturday morning, and discovered there was a handwritten note behind that card that I framed. And I had forgotten about the note that she wrote me. And she's just going to be missed, but an awesome educator, was valedictorian of a class when she graduated from Westfield High School. This is, of the UW Clemens and all of those scholars who went there, and I understand it was a great school for educators, and for perpetuating educators, and so we're going to miss Ms. Hines, but I just want the public to know, and we did offer a resolution for her family then, and so The next thing I want to share with you, that the next Public Safety Transportation Committee will meet on June 20th, 4:30, in in this council chambers. Also wanted to thank again Ms. Langford for corralling the Omicron Omega chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi sorority this morning for that wonderful breakfast that they shared with us, and the presentation they made here this morning. In addition to that, Bellevue Heights Neighborhood Association meets tonight, Tuesday, June the 14th, 6:30 at Brown Elementary. The Enza neighborhood meets at McAlpine, and that's going to be on the 16th. That's Thursday at McAlpine Recreation Center. And just wanted to share with my colleagues that I was given a singular honor this past week, this past Sunday, to come back home to my home church where I grew up. We were celebrating 150 years. It's the first African-American church in Gaston, and the second organized church, period, in the city of Gaston. And I had a singular honor receiving the key from Mayor Sherman Guyton, who's the mayor of Gaston, key to the city. And so I was humbled by that, and I want to say kudos to Gaston. You know, they don't have to recognize, I'm a kid who grew up there, and to go back home and to receive that honor was of high order. I didn't know initially, and was surprised by Councilman Worthy, who is the new council person on the council there, and presented that to me on behalf of the mayor. So I was very happy to have received that. And I wanted to also announce that come Saturday, our Man Up Breakfast will be held, our annual Man Up Breakfast. Our speaker this year is Mr. Art Franklin. He is a television anchor with CBS 42, and this is his second entry to Birmingham, and he just brings a plethora of experiences, and having worked all over the country. And so we are delighted to have him as our main speaker at Man Up this year. And it's a breakfast. It's free. It's open to men and women, boys and girls. I shared with the group, I think yesterday, I don't have a boy. I got a little girl, and she's a grown girl now. She's still in my pocket, though. But anyway, so we want those persons to come out, and for these men and boys and girls to talk about their fathers and the impact that they've had on them, and what you expect in a father, and what you expect in a man. So those are things I think that are important. And so we looked at Councilor Tyson has come out, and so we look for Councilor Scales to come out this time. And bring Mike and get him a free breakfast. And so, Mr. Patton, I hope you come, because I want to thank you and the mayor for making that the Crossplex available to us. But I hope you come too, because I think it'll be a great experience. And so it's free, free, free. Come. And I want to say to our young people here today, it's good to have you all. And you've been quite responsive. I've heard you clap on certain things. So obviously there's some things on your mind and that you want to do, and I appreciate you all being here and to share in government, because this is really what it's all about. And as I said to you yesterday, it's a great thing to be exposed to your government and to understand the inner workings of what we do here. It's not all bad. There's some wonderful good that come out of this city when we empower others and take care of them and improve their quality of life. So thank you all for being here. And they're all smart and interviewed, I'm told, very well. And so we're glad to have you all from whatever place you come. Mr. President.
All right. Our
I first want to announce the passing of a icon in the Druid Hills, Fountain Heights neighborhood, North Side community. Miss Tommy Mitchell passed on Wednesday, June the 8th. So I have a resolution that I'll be presenting to her. Funeral is tomorrow morning, to present to her family. Funeral is tomorrow morning at 11 at St. John AME Church. And so I want to move a resolution of condolences.
Second.
Let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Move the item.
Second.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you, that item passes. East Avondale meets Tuesday, June the 14th from 6 to 7 at New Bethel Baptist Church. Forest Park, South Avondale meets the 14th from 6:30 to 7:30 at Avondale Library. Graymont meets the 20th. No, that says April 20th. That's not correct. From 4:30 to 5:30 at the Birmingham Public Library at Smithfield Room. Our budget tours that we have coming up tonight, the first one is tonight at the Birmingham Public Library Richard Arrington Jr. Auditorium. It's on the 4th floor. It starts at 6 p.m. It'll go from 6 to 7:30, and we look forward to having you all there. The next one, and these are subject to change, Parkway Christian on June 16th, Brownsville Heights on June 21st, and Arlington Healthcare on June the 23rd. Is that correct, Council Tyson? We're gonna do it at Arlington? On June the 23rd. That's not right, is it?
We're going to New Hope.
It's on the 20th.
Is that New Hope?
I told you it would be
You
subject
moved it to
change.
New Hope?
New Hope on the 20th.
Yes, yeah, so those last two, no. Yeah, the 20th will be at New Hope Baptist Church, 6 p.m. That's on a Monday. Yeah. All right, those are my announcements. Oh, Druid Hills has a fun day at Arthur Shores Park from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., June 18th. I want to thank and Mr. Jenkins wants us to make the announcement that Kirk Franklin will be at the Alabama Theater at 7:30 p.m., June 14th. Mr. Willie Jenkins, gotcha. All right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
This meeting is adjourned.
It's 1:05.
Hey, baby. Hey, Brittany, please come. Come quickly with the camera. Please, Brittany.